That actually would be so good.
Shall this be the intro of our episode? Just like this?
I would like that if you guys are down.
Just for now?
That's actually a really good idea.
I mean, we can just be rolling now because this is really putting us in the right mood, I think. Wow.
Good pick, wasn't it?
I don't even think we need to talk. I think we can just...
You should do the intro over the top.
Actually, yeah. Who cares if we get copyright striked? What are they going to do to us? Take our money away? We don't care about that. We care about a good freaking episode. Oh, this feels right. Episode 100. Coffee Club Podcast. In the new studio.
The new digs.
We've grown a lot the past couple of years.
It only took a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow. This feels right.
It's the journey.
We still don't know where we're going.
We'll see where it takes us.
Wow. Coffee Club 100.
Well, welcome everyone to the new studio, to episode 100 of the Coffee Club Podcast. New mics, new lights, same us. No, new Gus. Where's our new Gus?
New Gus.
Gus.
New and improved, honestly. He's so much lighter. He's so much better behaved.
Doesn't make any noise.
No.
It's literally perfect.
The real Gus is upstairs right now, calming down a little bit until he can be in his best behavior to join us on the set. Which
he was so excited about the new studio.
Yeah.
That he started breaking shit immediately.
Yep.
So he's
including a headset.
He's in timeout.
He's in timeout.
So new Gus.
Supplement Gus. When Gus isn't here, we'll have supplement Gus just to fill his space. You know when you have the space sitters in the Oscars? So this is Gus's space sitter.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone is watching the YouTube version of this and not just listening to the audio. Otherwise, it's going to not make so much sense. But with that, I guess we should start getting into it.
People in the audio are probably like, I don't give a shit about your new studio.
Well, I guess the mics.
Yeah, maybe the mics.
Hopefully for them, the mics are a big part of it. But we have this amazing new studio, new mics, etc. And we have an amazing episode planned for you guys. And we're not going to give any specifics of the surprises away yet, but I think you're going to want to hang around until the very end. We're going to be hanging out here for a long time, calling some people, having some fun, just trying to make the most special episode 100 that we can after we teased our listeners for the past 10 weeks.
It has been a tease.
Must be some angry people out there.
Yeah.
That actually is 0.1 every week. That is 10 weeks.
Somehow
such a long time.
It worked out perfectly. I think, like initially when we did that, we were like, all right, we'll give ourselves a couple of weeks just as a buffer until we're back together. And then, once you've given it a couple of weeks, it's like, wow, we really need to make episode 100 as special as possible. And we got to last week and we were like, we just recorded 99.9. I don't think we can keep putting this off any longer. I think next week is the week. And then we went full blast preparation mode, episode 100.
We haven't slept in a week.
Nope, and we've had big goals for this episode too.
And here
we
really
really wanted
today.
to nail it. So
exactly.
We'll see if it pulled off.
So we do have some opening show la-di-la things to go through quickly. First off, we would like to introduce our new intro, our new jingle, which I don't know if it'll start next week because we still have to make the accompanying video for it. But yeah, why don't we show it to the fans?
Let's let it do the talking. Let's see what they think.
The
Coffee Club, grind your beans and grab your favorite mug. It's Ollie, Morgan, George, and Gus. It's them boys from Coffee Club. Boys from Coffee Club.
Oh, that was epic. Nick Harris, what a legend, coming through. So
that's why he was king of the gala.
Yeah, it's pretty clear after listening to that why he won king of the Coffee Club gala.
So, someone doesn't like that. There's something wrong with him.
Oh, 100%. That's it's pure gold, pure class.
Pure gold in my ears.
So that's going to be our intro very soon. But for now, we'll just be listening to that on repeat. But the big thing to get out of the way. Oh, first off, happy birthday to George. He is now part of the 27 Club.
Mm.
Your birthday was on Tuesday.
It was. Had a lovely day.
Celebrated
Thank you,
it
everyone.
with a big long run up in Rollinsville,
Mm.
as anyone
It's pretty
should.
hard.
But
It's a beautiful day for it too. So made the most out of it.
Just
sure.
waiting for Ollie to join us at the 27 Club.
I'll be there soon, brother. Don't you worry. Don't
Yeah.
you worry.
Ollie is
Gus.
the
What's
young
Gus?
one.
Gus is
Who?
turning
14?
3 this year. He'll be
It's
21.
20. He'll meet us at the 28 Club.
Oh, we'll actually meet up, right?
At one point, yeah.
We should.
Should.
We'll all be 28 at the same time.
Next year we should all be 28 at the same time. Well, I'll be a month behind, but we'll be by January 29th we will all be 28 together.
Amazing.
Gus.
Amazing.
So
And we still are going to hype up the New York Marathon this week, and we have a few more details. So we would like everyone to send in your bib numbers to us via the YouTube comments, or you can email us at hello@coffeeclubpod.com. That'll be in the description with NYC bib in the subject, because we just want to put you on our tracker. I don't know what how the technology works for these things, but I assume that you can put a list together and then you can track all these people, and then we can know to cheer for you. So please submit your bib numbers so we can cheer on all the members of Coffee Club TC. And just a bit more details on what we'll be doing on the Saturday and Sunday. So we'll put all the stuff in the description we'll be publishing a lot of the stuff through their page, and we'll also be putting it on our Instagram, like kind of what we'll be doing. But on Saturday, there will be a meetup, like a pretty casual meetup. I think it's a shakeout run with David Kilgore. I'm not sure if any of us will actually be running, but we'll definitely be there for the start of it on the Saturday afternoon, I think around 1 or 1:30, which will be at the MoMA PS1, I think. We'll have to check that for details. Check the on page, and we'll put it out. And then the big one that we're doing is the cheer section on Sunday, which should be at 8:30 at the Coffee Inn, 71st and 1st Avenue. And what's very special there is that we'll be doing a giveaway of our shirts. I mean, it'll be special just because we'll be like literally hanging out there cheering for Helen. So we would like as many people along cheering with her, along with us cheering for her as possible. And then we do have a limited amount of Helen cheer section shirts that we made up. And I am wearing one right now underneath my hoodie, which my hoodie will come off at some point, so you'll get to see it. But they're pretty sick. And I think we'll probably have about 80 to 90 to give away to the first fans that get there. So
First come, first served?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I believe so. I guess it has to fit you as well, because we ordered, just kind of random with the sizes, just trying to predict like what'll make sense. But yeah, I think that'll be really fun, and the shirts are cool. So come get a free shirt and just hang out and cheer for Helen as she goes for glory on the streets of New York. So
we're stoked to be there either way, but we also get to cheer for our teammate. Like, people just say that New York Marathon weekend is pretty epic to be at, but we also get to cheer for a teammate that's trying to win.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight.
It's very special. So with all that out of the way, I think it's time to just get into the episode. And we have a lot of reflecting to do today. I think that'll probably be the main theme of this episode, apart from all the very special guests that are calling in. And we reached out to the fans via Instagram and also on the Discord. We had people submitting their favorite moments. And I think it's probably good to take a trip down memory lane. How much time do we have? We'll cover a couple and then we'll call our first special guest. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Outstanding.
So there are so many here. And it would be cool to have I don't know how you guys are, but my memory is so poor, compared to, I think, some of the fans. They'll say moments from the podcast that I just I'm like, what? We talked about it in the podcast. I don't even remember the moment happened, let alone remembering it on the podcast. So we have them kind of grouped up. A lot of them the biggest section might be Ollie's Antics.
No surprise there.
Yeah, good to know that my delinquency is still continuing to prevail.
But the top of the list that we have is XC Champs.
Oh, I don't want to go back to memory lane about XC Champs. That whole experience was kind of daunting.
Yeah.
I mean, particularly when we got to the course. But we talked about it probably for like 4 weeks straight.
We hyped it
At
up way
least.
too much.
Yeah,
Maybe double that.
we gave Sound Running some good advertisements, some good billboard space, and to be honest, if the course was as good as we would like the course to be, it would have been an incredible event. I think we all agree on that. But the course was one that you looked at, and Dathan just goes, "Well, I don't know, maybe just to see how it goes." And when Dathan's saying that, he's usually pretty certain, pretty sure of things. When he's saying that, it causes unsettling nerves. So, but we came through it. We survived. Had a good time.
Barely.
Barely.
If my memory serves me correctly, as soon as we turned up, I think Dathan said, "Looks like we're not coming to this again next year, boys."
This will be your one and only chance.
Is this our official announcement of not returning to Cross Jams?
Should we do it?
Are we announcing for the team? We're probably going to get in trouble again.
It must be
2023. The OAC is not
chosen
going
not to compete
Yeah.
at the Sound Running Cross Country Champs.
It hit the buzzer.
Do you know
DX
it must be
buzzer.
soon, right?
Surely.
Do you know when it is, Colin? December 2nd.
Oh, yeah, so it is pretty soon.
we have.
I remember it was the same weekend of that BU meet. It was like either go to BU and like run super fast,
Like
65K
12:50.
time,
Yeah.
or do you want to be in Austin running this sick cross country course?
I did love meeting everyone out there.
This year we're doing neither. I get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
But we
just
still
hunkering
made
down.
the Instagram, like who's gonna win OAC.
Well, I know who isn't going to win.
Who's that?
Who isn't going to win?
Yeah.
us.
OAC.
Yeah.
We could like give our bibs to someone, or like
Get our fans to run it. Coffee Club fans, if you want to run in place of OAC.
should we
Coffee Club
enter
TC.
should we enter Coffee Club TC?
That'd
Just
be
get fans to
amazing.
do it. That'd be amazing.
But with some more specifics on the XC Champs is Ollie leading, which as a fan, I think it would have been amazing to see. Like after all the shit that we had talked going into it,
Yeah.
Ollie just dropped the field by 10 meters in the first, at 400
More,
meters
maybe.
in. 400 meters in, he'd already dropped the whole field after all the shit that had been talked
I think
about.
you were out in like 58.
My first mile was quite quick, I think. But it was funny because we talked about this in the podcast, and I went around and these fans yelled out because we talked a lot of shit and saying about points for the 10K.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the whole point. A lot of people like Emily Infield, her main reason to go there was the point system. And I kind of said, well, I don't need points for a 10K. I'm just going to take all the points away from you guys and just try and win it. And I remember leading about 200 meters before that really bad down up thing through the little section of wood. And these two fans, blokes goes, "That's it, Hoary. No points for anyone." And I was like,
They actually said that?
started laughing.
Yeah, I thought we'd agreed to to give our 10K runners all the points, but
I didn't agree
you
to
and
that.
George
I didn't agree to
let me
that.
pass him at
Ollie
the
and
end.
Yared said,
We did not agree to that.
Ollie and Yared said, "No."
Hold my beer.
Well, good thing none of it mattered.
Mm.
None of it mattered.
And then you find out none of it mattered.
So
Anyway.
that was
Say love
hilarious.
you.
There's 2,500 races in Spain you can go to, I think, to get the points.
Yeah. But one race in the US.
Except then they won't even take you if you qualify like that. We found out as well. A bunch of those countries chose not to send their athletes that had qualified via the cross country.
Yeah, so it's a good system overall.
It really
Big
worked
success.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to Seb about that one, fix a couple of things going forwards. But do you guys think it's time to call our first guest?
I think it's
I
time.
think it's time.
I'm really nervous to do this live. It seems like a lot of pressure, doesn't it? It's like
I feel like after our first guest, we can kind of get into the mood, get into the roll of things, you know. We're professionals.
is this working?
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome
We
to the
can't see your
podcast,
face right now.
Nikki Hiltz.
You can't see me?
No.
No, I can
Why
only
don't we
see
have video
myself.
on you?
All right, hold on.
It might be us.
We could be having technical difficulties.
Should we
I
roll
can
with
see
it
you guys.
Let me try to call you back 1 sec.
Okay.
Well, that went well.
That was it. That was the interview.
Nikki Hiltz.
I hope you guys,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I hope you guys like that.
Yeah. So that's going to be the...
And now we've given it away. Not that it was supposed to be a surprise.
Hey, there we go.
All right, we can see you.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 100. We're stoked to have you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Look at this setup. Wow.
It's super legit. Yeah. You're our first guest.
Congrats. Oh, I'm the first one. Wow. Well, congrats on your 100th birthday. That's like really exciting.
Thank you. Yeah,
it is pretty exciting.
Is it our 100th birthday though? Is that how it works in like there's dog age and then there's podcast age where every week is you turn another year?
Every episode.
That's exactly how it works.
Perfect.
100th birthday. I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah, amazing.
So how is it up in Flag right now?
Oh, vibes are good. I was just at the track and, we were just celebrating the NAU women going 1 through 7 in their conference championship. So it's good vibes up here for sure.
We have noticed that you seem to have quite a lot of allegiance to NAU for someone that didn't run for NAU. What's with that? I mean, I appreciate it, obviously. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not because I don't have Arkansas pride, like woo pig till I die. It's just, I don't know. I really like NAU. Obviously my coach is Mike Smith, so that helps. I feel like since I've moved here a couple years ago, I've gotten close with like some people on the women's team, and that's always fun. It's cool to see like a program that hasn't been dominant, like just to keep building and building every year and kind of see behind the scenes and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just really hard not to be like NAU fan. I don't know. Go Jacks, I guess.
Is that what they say? Go Jacks?
Go Jacks.
Yeah.
Jack
and
down.
they do this. I don't know how to
That's
do
Wisconsin,
it.
bro.
I've never seen this
two
before.
Wisconsin
It's because
people.
everyone's too embarrassed to do it.
I hope
no one saw that on the thing. We're happy to hear that.
Yeah, we are happy. I mean, it's hard not to be a fan of Mike Smith. I mean, we're all fans of Mike
I'm
Smith.
not a fan of NAU. I'm a fan of Mike Smith.
I'm a fan of Mike Smith. What's it like being coached by him?
Oh, it's a vibe. He's not really at any of my races. So, I think the only race he came to this year was USA's. So definitely like an adjustment to not having your coach there. But, that's kind of like what his pros sign up for. It's like, we know that the college team comes first and we're kind of on the back burner, but it's super fun. I honestly think it's allowed me to gain a lot of independence in like a good way. He's such a funny guy, and I just love the way his like philosophy and how he talks about like competing, and that you can have all these big goals, but if you just focus on executing and competing, like that's when don't be so outcome oriented and be more focused on the process. And that's been just like a super fun way to go about training and racing and stuff.
100%. We've heard a lot from George about Michael's way of coaching, and I tell you what, I feel like I'm right there going to sleep when we're doing threshold.
I feel like he almost coaches us, like maybe 10%. How much we joke about, how much we say go to sleep. I think he's like 2% our coach.
Yeah.
Well, he's also not at our races. So
exactly.
So maybe it's more like 50 probably.
Probably, yeah.
But I think all his pros have shown that you don't. I mean, I love having Ritz at my races and at
who doesn't?
At literally everything. But I think Mike Smith's pros. Is it a team? Are you a team?
That's the hard hitting.
That's the hard hitting question. We've just hit a hard hitting question. Is it collective?
I guess I don't think we're allowed to call it that.
Okay.
We're a group of individuals that train sometimes together.
And have obviously shown that they can perform it at a super high level without the coach there, and maybe without a race plan. I don't know if you still have a race plan. Let's go back to, I think, at least a race that I spent a lot of time with you leading up to and afterwards, Monaco Diamond League this year. Huge American record, and didn't need a coach there. How was that?
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, we both had great races there. I don't know. I think that was cool because we just knew it was like, we don't get to run the mile that much. It's obviously a lot of 1500s, but earlier, like a month before that, I ran a mile at Oslo. Like for whatever reason on the women's side in the Diamond League circuits, a lot of 15s kept turning into miles, which I think was really cool. And that by the time I got to Monaco, I was like, oh, I've done a couple miles already this season. So like it's always weird to start on the curve, not the straightaway. Like it is an adjustment, but I felt really prepared going into it, and like the only goal was to like compete and see how it was a world class field, see like how high I could finish. And yeah, I remember like one of the only things Mike said to me was, with 400 to go, like be there with 400 to go, because the last 400 like is just gonna take care of itself. And so I was like coming up on the bell lap, I hear the bell, I'm like, okay, I made it here, it's gonna take care of itself. And then that next 200, I like fully fell off the pack. Like it did not take care of itself. And then I eventually got with 200 to go, and I was like, I think, mentally I was like, oh my God, you have 200 left. Like you can maybe catch like a couple people ahead of you. And Elise Cranny was one of those people ahead of me. And, I thought, I knew we were running fast. I had no idea like what exact pace, but I was like, well, if you're running fast enough, you've got to be in front of Elise to get that record. And so I think the only time it crossed my mind that like this could be an American record, it was that last 50. And I ended up, getting Elise right at the line, finishing sixth, which it's actually kind of crazy looking at my season. Like sixth place was one of my worst like performances, but ended up being 416, and we were all stoked because I think the top 8 set a national record, and so we're all like so excited at the finish line, and just really good vibes.
It was just a crazy results page for that race. It was like the most letters I've ever seen.
I couldn't get over it. It was ridiculous. I think it was one of those things where I'll be able to like tell my kids and family about, like one of those races, when my parents talked about big races back in the 80s. Like this is one of those races you just look at it and go, wow, that was a pretty incredible experience.
Having to beat Elise is kind of brutal, because she also was under the American record.
That's always tough.
That was like already, wasn't it from the 80s? Like you break an American record from that long ago, but you get beaten by another American. Damn.
Just shows you how stacked it is.
I mean, yeah. I feel like I have to shout out Elise too, because like she's literally like a 5K, 10K, like she was our U.S. 5K, 10K champ, and then 2 weeks later, we went and raced a mile, and I was the U.S. 1500 champ. So it's like I had to break in like 40-year record like to beat Elise to get it. It's just like her range is incredible, and like I'm a 1500 specialist. So yeah, no, and I think the coolest part about Elise too is that we finished, and I was like no one was happier for me than Elise, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like she's just so humble like that, and yeah, obviously incredible range.
Yeah, the women's 1500 has just been, as you know, I think like just absolutely ridiculous with your race, and then also the 1500 world record in Florence has just been so crazy. And where you sit now, I think you got to feel pretty good. I like following your story a lot, because you had somewhat of kind of like a breakout in 2019, and because I remember seeing you at Worlds, and then it was, I guess, a couple of years that were a bit more challenging for you, and then this past year was such a meteoric. Is that how you say that?
Meteoric.
That sounds wrong.
We have an Australian accent. Maybe that's what the problem is.
Meteoric.
It skyrocketed.
You had a crazy fucking good year coming back after a couple of years that were challenging, and now we're going into the big year, being the Olympic year. How are you feeling with everything? And you're like, oh yeah, I feel I'm right where I want to be going into such a big year.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of crazy to think about like my 2 really big good years were 2019 and 2023 now. So like 2 years in theory right before an Olympic year. So I feel like after my 2019 season, I was like, let's go, like 2020, I'm ready. And then obviously the pandemic hit. So I'm just hoping for not another pandemic, and like to keep this momentum going. Yeah,
it's out of our control.
Yeah. It's out of our control, but we're crossing our fingers as well. We're hoping for that.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind an extra year, personally.
Nah, I need to go.
Don't be silly.
I think Nikki, George, and I are definitely on the.
Don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah, we want to get going. I think for this year. So
fair enough. Have we got any other questions before we let Nikki go?
I feel like, yeah, I mean, leading into the Olympic year, I think like it seems like you've got everything set. Mike Smith Elite, cool sponsor. Like, what else has been going on? How was the Pride 5K? Like, I feel like you've just been hitting your stride in a bunch of areas.
Just been
and just like, obviously, you're an incredible role model in the sport.
Hitting home runs, left, right, and center.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no, Pride 5K was great. Yeah, thanks for asking. It was, we put it in October. It was in June the first couple of years, but moved it to October just because the track season gets going in June, and it's been really fun to like kind of right when the season ends to have something to look forward to, and kind of like my passion project on the side. And Lululemon, my sponsor, was great help this year, and like we had 5 in-person races, or it was kind of like group runs, not like a race. And we raised the most money this year than we ever had for an LGBTQ organization, so that was awesome. Point of Pride was the charity we partnered with, and it was really, really special. I think the Pride 5K every single year is my favorite day of the year, and I feel like I really look up to like Emma Coburn's Elk Run, and like just athletes that like have passions on the side and like go all in on them. And like I remember talking to Emma about it Fifth Ave last year, and we're like, it's kind of stressful and crazy, but like when the day comes, we're like, this is our favorite day of the year every year. So it was a great time. You guys should come run it one year.
Is there an in-person version in Flag?
So we did one last year in person in Flagstaff, and then this year was more virtual. But I think next year we want to do like kind of one in-person big one in like a bigger city than Flag. So we're still figuring out which city, but yeah.
Ollie would come if it was in Flag for sure.
Oh, I still need to go to Flagstaff. I haven't been. Morgan's
just
been,
needs a reason.
George, I need a reason.
Just give him a reason, Nikki.
I have one right now.
Pride 5K.
I have one right now.
Let's make it happen.
I have a question. How hard is it to logistically like set that up? Like, I feel like it's something that behind the scenes must be extremely stressful, and just like getting everything organized. How was that this year? Do you feel like you get the hang of it year after year?
Yeah, I mean, this year we had to. It was all virtual, but still, that's a lot of workload. We had to send out like 2,000 T-shirts, and like getting people's like sizes right, and like address, make sure it's to the right address. It's like I really feel like I've gotten the hang of it, and I feel like a lot of the times I'm just like supply management chain, like calling Lululemon, like where are the medium shirts, and then they're like, oh, they got sent to this address, and like just randomly tracking down shirts and then trying to get them our screen printer. But like I feel like I'm in a rhythm now. Like I have a screen printer in Flagstaff that like I'm friends with now, and you just kind of like figure it out as you go. I mean, you guys make merch, you know how it goes. But
yeah, it's a headache. It's an absolute headache.
It took us 94 weeks. 94 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's very challenging. But those are the skills that you learn, which should help you more in that future life post running. So I think it is. Yeah, when you look back at it, like. Yeah, you're learning such important stuff, and you're making such amazing memories, and they'll last you a lifetime and be so useful. I think we feel the exact same way about this podcast, so we definitely can relate to what you're building over there, and it's so amazing. And I think we've probably taken up enough of your time. I'd just like to say thank you so much for coming on. And is there anything else you would like to shout out or mention before you head out?
No, this has been super fun. Congrats again. You guys you're doing it. It's incredible. 100 episodes. Yeah. So have fun today, and happy birthday again. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Best of luck. Well,
that freaking rocked.
That freaking rocked. So, first guest done, dusted. Gus came in, made a mess. Things are moving well.
Hard not to be a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I mean, yeah. I would love to do the Pride 5K. I just I need an excuse. I need an excuse to go to Flagstaff. So
I was going to ask if they're doing triple threshold this fall.
Oh, I think they're doing infinite threshold.
Really?
We'll definitely have Nikki back on. They'll tell us for sure.
I thought that after the first in person I was going to feel less nervous, and I still feel just as nervous. I don't even know what I feel nervous about. How's Gus doing? Gus
update. He's drooling everywhere.
Yeah, he joined us mid-interview, and he's currently getting manhandled by his father for being a naughty boy.
Sometimes you just got to put him in his place.
I think it'll just take him a minute to get used to the new... Oh, that's pretty good. Get used to the new setup.
Yeah, he looks very tired. I don't know. He's you can't really tell him what to do. He just does whatever he wants.
He's the CEO. That's the problem.
We have so many more cool guests like Nikki coming up over the next 6 to 8 hours.
Depending on time frame, yeah.
There's gonna be
So
20,
I hope no
24
one
hours.
has
It's a
anything.
marathon,
I
24
hope no one
hours
has
straight.
anything to do today.
All right, see you guys. He's gonna explore the studio a little bit, but that is fine. Shall we move on to? Okay, so
We've reminisced cross champs.
we've ticked cross champs off the list, and this is a really big one, which is Ollie winning Comm Games gold. A
The
legend
legend is born.
is born, as we titled it. I think aptly so.
I think we stole that though. I think that was
As the
the
newspaper.
Sydney. No, what was it?
Was it the Sydney Morning?
That was the leader. That was my local paper.
Cronulla.
Yeah, Cronulla Sutherland. Shout out. The Sutherland Shire in Cronulla. Yeah, no, I still forget that actually happened. Like I
Pretty
still
fucking crazy, wasn't
I
it?
still forget it because like I remember my like Worlds. I remember just traveling around with the team and everything like that. And George and I were doing Comm Games, and it's something that I know the both of us always wanted to do. Growing up in the sport, obviously representing your country at Worlds, Olympics, and Comm Games was like the three big ones. And we were very excited to do it. Birmingham was a cool place to go. But yeah, just sometimes I just forget that actually happened. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I feel like our fans can really appreciate when you have bad races and then you have good races, that not one race is going to define you as an athlete. And that's what we're seeing right now with our journeys, is that you're following it and getting invested in it. And the nice thing is we're going to have probably a lot of races coming up in the future that don't go well and that are disappointing, but there's going to be races that are going to go well and tick that box. And Commonwealth Games is definitely a good example of that. So
Yeah, I think for you personally, who knows when it's all said and done, but I imagine you're always going to look back at that moment, and I mean, not just the moment, the months around it as well, and that will be one of probably the most special moments of your career,
definitely.
especially given the fact that it may be the last Commonwealth Games ever.
Yeah, and I broke the Commonwealth Games record too, so then no one will break that record either.
Yeah.
Which would be huge.
Gus has got behind the couch. The CEO.
An idiot.
Okay, this is a little secret. We did not get CEO approval on this studio. We just assumed that he would like it. So the Comm Games was a very big moment for us last year, but taking it even back a little bit further, I think this was a massive moment for the OAC, and simultaneously a massive moment for the coffee club was Millrose. Was that 2020?
Millrose 1.0.
Yeah, Millrose 1. What year was that? 2022.
Yeah. Was it 20?
Is that all?
22?
Yeah, I feels like it was so long
so
ago.
much longer. I think you're right. 2022.
And
We capitalized on how good it was for the team.
yeah, it was absolutely amazing, and that was. It wasn't his first moment of fame, but that was a big. Tom Wang really shined on that day.
He did. He did.
And I got to watch it from a couch in Michigan, which is very exciting. And I just couldn't believe as everything played out in front of my eyes and everything turned up golden for these boys as they won the mile. Ollie won the mile against Josh Kerr, the
famous.
The famous Outclassed comment. Yeah.
led to that.
Yeah.
And he was
I also got sick from drinking out of the trophy with Citrus Mag. I got very sick.
And he was so hyped up going into that because he had won the bronze medal at Olympics before that.
Yeah.
So that he was, kind of the headliner, I guess, along with Ollie. But then Ollie got the dub on him, and then George took down a really stacked 3K field
in like the most spectacular fashion possible.
I still remember that he ran the 3200 that day.
I did run. An extra lap just sounded like a good idea.
It was the quickest victory lap of all time. High fiving everyone.
I do love that someone split that. It was in the comments or something.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, and you also threw a OAC scarf in the crowd, and who picked it up?
No, yeah. Wait, who gave it to me? And I think
it was Andy or Jordan, and you threw it up and gave it to Tom Wang.
Went to Tom Wang.
And he was videoing, I think. I don't know I think he was videoing at the time.
I don't think I even aimed for him. It was just
I think it was just fate.
It was meant to be.
Just fate.
So that was such a good day, and especially the fact that Tom Wang was recording it all. So it was like from his perspective, and he was just going bananas, going absolutely crazy. And then we got to repost all that content on our socials, which was pretty cool. And yeah, then Ollie already mentioned this, but then it led to the famous Outclassed comment, which
I know Josh responded with a critique of that, saying, "You didn't outclass me, you whoop wearing Tim and Elite Boy or whatever." Which honestly, fair game. It was good. It was good chat. But you know,
It was good for the sport.
it was great for sport. I
amazing.
thought his response to it was pretty funny, and I feel like because I could tell I used the wrong word because Dathan just put his hands on his head, and I was like, "Oh no, Ollie, why'd you say that?"
Well, that was
You
the best
could've-
thing about it. Is like, I don't know if I'm not going to speak for you, but I don't know if you meant to say that you outclassed him. I don't think that you did, but then you doubled down on it.
Yeah, I
afterwards.
had to. Well, I kind of felt that like when I said that comment, I was very much in the mind of like outclassing as in just like beating,
Yeah.
which is not really outclassing.
Outclassing means something more.
It means way more, and I think I had to double down on it because I didn't want to go back on what I said.
Well, especially
And,
after his response.
yeah, and you know, Kerr fired shots back, and it just made for good banter. So worked
Good
out well.
I think Millrose will always have like a special place in the hearts of OAC team
OAC in particular.
and Coffee Club
And On, for example, because I
and
think
the brand.
On
It's
like
just an amazing
they
thing.
debuted their prototype spikes there. They have great races there every year. It's one of the biggest indoor
It's
races
so
in the
fun.
world.
It's so fun.
So it's pretty amazing to be able to go there year after year and just watch our teammates just crush international fields with PBs, wins, top 3 finishes. So
Yeah, well, it was that one in particular because, yeah, you took down Josh Kerr, big name, and then George took down,
Cooper Teardrop, and Hull Cocker.
and they were such, I mean, they still are, but they were such big names. Like, they were so hyped up going into that. So
I love it. Who was
That was in their YouTube era.
Yeah, they had a YouTube on it with
that was
the two of them, and it was interesting because I think did Cooper celebrate or he didn't celebrate?
It kind of looked like he did, but he didn't. I think he was just
Yeah.
like leaning.
He
in
was
his arm.
leaning, yeah.
But I think it was after Cole's 2021 year.
Mm,
I think that was why it was big too. Because
yeah,
he might not have raced since the Olympic final.
yeah, it could
Might
have
have
been.
just made that up.
Can't remember.
But I think it might have just been his first race back kind of thing. Or his first race for Nike, actually. It was a day, or both of them.
It was the pro debut.
I think it was the pro debut.
Mm-hmm.
It spoiled the party.
Yeah,
So that was a lot of fun.
that was hype. So Millrose, and I mean, obviously, the next year also was big there, and then I think hopefully we'll be back there this year and every year for the rest of our careers. So we'll see. But that one in particular for Coffee Club was
Massive,
a big moment.
massive.
And it was like, I can't remember exactly, but that must have been, I don't know what episode that would have been around of the show, but I know at least our Instagram was pretty early at that point. So, and
Low
we didn't,
numbers.
yeah,
I
we
think
didn't
it was
really know
like-
like what to
We
post.
were
or
very
anything.
much in the feeder stage of social media, and then we had that viral 50K viewed video of George winning that race,
Wait,
which
really?
that skyrocketed our Instagram quite a bit actually.
Yeah,
So,
just killed
you're
the
welcome.
algorithm with that.
Yeah, we smashed that algorithm.
Tom
Yeah.
Wang's video, though.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, pretty
From
much.
the crowd.
Pretty
so
much.
blurry.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Tom Wang.
Mm.
Thank you, boys. Amazing. One other trip down memory lane, which I barely even remember this. I don't even remember that much of it, but our Christmas special,
Oh,
The Gus That Stole Christmas. That was the title of it.
I remember vividly bringing this couch downstairs, down round that corner of the, because we did it in the basement because we had it with the tree.
We had the Christmas tree. We had the whole
gifts.
setup. We had the fire on the TV
On the
behind
TV.
us. We really
It
went
was
all out
very
for that
cozy. That's probably the most studio we've had until now.
you know what I remember?
one.
You
Don't
guys,
say it, don't
you
say
guys
it, don't
not
say it.
drinking the Mountain Dew bottles that I got for you two, and I had to donate money anyway because you wouldn't drink them because you guys are too healthy.
Sounds like a win.
It was
mean,
a win-win for
It
them.
was such a big bottle.
That was the
like,
whole point. It was a
If
mission.
You could have just got us like little mini. It was like 2 liters.
You knew we were not going to be able to do that.
No, I didn't. I really wanted you to drink it. That's why.
Did you drink them? Where'd they go?
I think we might have used them for the gala.
I don't know. I don't know. They were just like in the cupboard.
They were hanging around, and then
forever.
I think in the gala they were used.
I'm pretty
for
sure they went
mixes.
to the next house.
I think we moved. Did we move with them?
We moved with.
We
them.
did move with them. I think they were used in the gala.
Well,
for
I guess-
mixed drinks.
Was it? Did you give us 6 months to drink them or a year?
I think it was a year.
Really?
And then I think by 6 months, I was like, I have to donate this money because these boys are not drinking that. Because I could just see it sitting in the corner and you guys were not touching it.
Did
I thought it was a great idea.
Pretty sure I got a scooter. One of my gifts was a scooter.
Yeah, it was a pink scooter from yours
What
truly.
happened? What happened to the scooter?
Yeah, what happened to that, George?
I think that moved with
No,
us.
that was I gave the scooter.
Yeah,
To me, I think.
to George.
And then you gave us
Mountain Dew bottles.
no, but you gave us something else as well.
That was like an extra.
Oh,
You gave us like figurines or something.
Lego. No, I gave you Lego and
You
you,
gave me
never built
Lego.
it.
I did build it.
Wait, we gave you a Halo character.
Halo Lego. I'm pretty.
I don't think it was Lego.
I gave him Halo. I think we both gave him Halo.
No, you gave me the Halo Lego and I built it.
Ollie was in
and
his
then
Halo.
The brute,
A Halo
yeah,
figurine.
and the brute on it was broken. I remember.
Ollie was obsessed with Halo at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That coincided with that. I don't know if the TV show was out at that time or something.
God, that was a long. How long ago was the Gusta Stole Christmas? That was a.
Maybe you gave us.
Too long.
Didn't you gave Morgan a onesie? It was that.
Oh yeah.
It was that
yeah.
onesie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did hang on to that for a while.
Mm.
It was very tight, if I remember correctly.
It was.
I
It was
think
way too small.
I think it was very tight.
I
Yeah,
think
it
I
was
put
way
it
too
on
small.
Put it on mid episode. That was good.
The Gus that stole Christmas.
The Gusta Stole Christmas.
Is it time to call our next guest? Well, no, we still have more time. We have so many people submitted a lot of good guest moments, and the one which was actually submitted the most, which is somewhat surprising, is a lot of people mentioned Joe Hardy, which
Interesting.
is something that I think is good for us to talk about because that's also the episode that we got cancelled. No, we didn't get cancelled. We had to make an apology.
Yeah,
about.
it was our third episode.
It was like, yeah, it's very early.
'Cause I think episode 1 we were just cruising. Episode 2 was Leah, and episode 3 was Joe
I don't
Hardy.
think it was exactly that because we had Waleed as well.
Oh yeah, but
Before
Waleed
Joe?
he was late. Was he before Joe?
I think he was.
We
It
had,
was
we had Harvey on that
We did have Harvey.
in those first 5 or
Yeah.
6.
I think
too.
it was
We had Nick Harris
first
on?
5. It was first 5. We had Nick Harris for the first Halloween episode
Mm-hmm.
because I was wearing a banana costume for that one.
You were in a hot dog.
Oh, the hot
Oh,
dog
the hot
costume.
dog costume.
Similar shape. Similar shape.
Similar shape.
He's easily confused.
Easily confused. But yeah, the Joe Hardy story.
The Joe Hardy episode, I think, was very important and very good for a few reasons. One of them is it allowed Ollie and I to do a bit of a deep dive on our Wisconsin times and give some really key insights into how, how our lives were and everything. As you could tell if you listened to it, Joe Hardy was one of our favorite people in the world, and we just had so many great memories with him. People really enjoyed Ollie's recruitment story, where Joe came upstairs in our apartment,
Soaking wet.
naked.
And he said, "Yo, you the recruit?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hi, my name's Joe." And then just gave me a hug.
Yeah,
And I knew then and there, I was like, I'm coming to the school, man. This
Exactly.
guy's a chiller.
that was one of those moments. And we don't really talk about the college stuff as much now. I don't know why. Maybe we've just already talked about it, or we've finally closed the yearbook. But I think for people that hadn't competed on a collegiate team, it was very eye-opening because they came to realize that I would say about 80% of our stories involved some level of nudity, and they weren't expecting that.
Like our locker room was pretty much 98% nudity. We kind of just
That is the place for it. That is the place.
that
for
is the
nudity.
place for it. And I think it was funny because for me it was a very bonding experience. In a way that like you'd go shower with the team, you get changed with the team, you leave and run with the team, you go to class with the team, you go to breakfast with the team. So like it's all like a family kind of setting situation.
So you're saying nudity brought the team together?
I would say that. I would go as far as to say that nudity won us a lot of Big Ten championships in cross country because we were very close. We cared a lot about each other, and we had this routine and system that I think made us feel like we were part of a family. And
me-
nudity was involved.
Yeah, to me, it was just like when you're part of that situation, part of a team like that, things just get really normalized that maybe aren't so normal in the real world. Because, yeah, just being naked with the team and doing all this type of stuff was just like, that was every day for us.
You couldn't hide. You couldn't hide.
You couldn't hide.
You had to be embraced, and you always were.
And yeah, I think it's certainly, I'm not going to say that it was essential. We didn't have to be naked around each other, but it probably did help a little bit in bringing us closer together in some ways. So, I don't know. I mean, as you know, I was a big fan of it. Same with the games that we would play while we were naked in the shower, all that. Like, that was also so much fun.
The medicine ball we kick around.
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to say the name of that game on the podcast, but pretty much, yeah, good insight for everyone to see, like, yeah, college runners are super weird. And I mean, every sports team is probably super weird, and they get naked a lot, and they have fun doing it. So
there's not a care in the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't do that now. I think I was hoping that in our new gym, we're getting a new gym soon, there would be a kind of a locker room situation. I don't think it's currently built into the plan yet, but who knows?
I would love that.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah. Also, just to have a shower, like multiple showers after a run. You could just shower at the gym and then just go home. That'd be nice.
Would be so
you
good.
could do that now. But
yeah, but
probably
the
shouldn't
shower
be
also
naked.
sucks at the gym that we currently have. It's not a great shower.
No, the shower situation at the gym is not good right now.
No.
I despise taking a shower there.
Particularly for like there's like, yeah, it's just not. It's
Also,
not
just
good
the
water
vibe.
for
If you came out of that shower naked into the gym, it wouldn't go over well.
Yeah.
I don't think that would fly.
You just have like Mario and Yara just like deadlifting, and then Morgan just walks out naked with a towel around his shoulders. You know, it just doesn't fit the vibe.
It doesn't quite work.
No.
But the other part of the Joe Hardy episode, which was, I mean, so we had to apologize for that episode because Joe Hardy has such an interesting story, and we didn't appropriately give a trigger warning for it. And I mean, I guess that was a learning curve for us. I mean, I still don't think that there's like anything was like too bad in there. And I think most people, actually, like specifically some of the people that mentioned this as like some of their best memories, like I think one of them was, I was about to go be a freshman in college, and so this story told me a lot of things to watch out for and to avoid so that I can have a better freshman year. And that's essentially what the point of it was. It wasn't a story of glorifying like anything bad. It was a story of like regret, making mistakes, and trying to learn from them. Like, which, I mean, at the time, I mean, even now, like that would be it's a pretty deep thing for us to cover on this show, which is pretty lighthearted normally. But I mean, that's Joe's story, and he's an amazing human being. So I think, to me, to be able to cover something like that, like it was, I think it was the right thing to do. Even if maybe, if we would do it again, I think hopefully we would not make any mistakes with it. But I think it was very important and a very good thing to do. All right, well, I think it's time to reach out to another special guest. If we can get them on the line.
Hey, Stewie.
The boys, how are we?
The mayor of King Island is
here. The mayor
here.
of King Island has accepted our phone call here. Stewie McSwain, thank you for joining Coffee Club 100. We're very excited to have you here to celebrate 100 episodes. How you doing, mate?
Boys? Good, and congrats on the 100. Massive effort by the boys.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Big century.
It took us a while to get here because we did an extra 9 episodes technically, but we made it to 100. How you doing? Where are you right now?
Good, boys. I'm just back in Melbourne, just kind of getting back into normal Melbourne life, which is good. Still waiting for the weather to get hot here, but yeah, happy to be home after what was a pretty long year.
Yeah, I can imagine, and I think our fans and everyone listening know who you are and what you do. And I think the one question we'd love to ask is, how's your goals leading into this big year? Because you've been for me personally, I've been looking up to you as a mid-distance runner for quite some time, and you've been so consistent over the past few years just in Diamond Leagues, finishing top 3 in most of those major races with some incredible competitors. How are you feeling leading up to this big year? Are you pretty excited? You got big goals?
I think any Olympic cycle you're pretty excited to come in. Unfortunately, as we've seen, at the moment, middle distance running's crazy. So I've got to get better, otherwise I'm going to get my ass handed to me next year. So I think everyone's looking to improve. So I need to improve over this off season and come back strong for next year. Because I think especially in the 1500, I think it's the most steps we've seen for years. So if we're not getting better, everyone else is. So I think that's the big thing I'm kind of focusing on, trying to improve.
Yeah, I'm terrified, man. I'm terrified. I don't know.
They're fucking good, aren't they?
I'm trying to keep it up. So there's one question I do want to ask. You're a gambling man, aren't you?
I follow a fair bit of sport, yeah.
Yeah. Would you give me any tips? Because I'm losing a bit of money at the moment, mate.
Unfortunately, I'm not big on American sports. I'm not sure what you get into.
Yeah, pretty much American sports for me. I lost like $100 yesterday gambling on NFL, so I'm not very good, mate. I might have to switch to Australian sports. But I know you're an avid sports follower. Can you tell our guests or give us a kind of a rundown of AFL and why it's the greatest sport on the planet?
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people who haven't seen it, but it's pretty much NFL, but just way more action, faster pace, way better.
Yeah,
it's just like so hard to explain to people because I don't understand it, but it's like just a better version of AFL and soccer combined. Just 80 minutes, all action, packed crowds, high scoring, teams are scoring 100 points, and just crazy. It's just massive down here, but unfortunately we haven't really branched out to the rest of the world yet. But hopefully one day it gets its worldwide status.
Do you think that's a fun? Is that their goal? Mate,
they have flag football in freaking the Olympics now. There should be AFL if you think about that.
Wait, 2032. Let's put AFL in the Olympics.
I think so.
Yeah,
because flag sports in 28.
I think we'd have a good chance to win that as well. So.
We'll get that a gold medal. You gotta do everything like in your. I guess the Olympics are just kind of rigged like that. Like that's why they're doing it in 2028. They're like, what sports can we put that only USA plays? Yeah. So we can grab some more golds.
Pretty much. But
we'll work on that.
It sounded like you were describing union.
Yeah, no.
We don't want union. We don't want. Don't worry, George.
Don't worry about the rugby. Don't worry about the rugby.
When New Zealand is big enough to host the Olympics, you guys can put union in there. How's that sound?
Yeah.
I do have a bit more of a running question for you, Stewie. Ollie and I come from Australia and George, New Zealand, very similar gig. We're based here in the US, and I think for us, it's like it makes sense because we went to college and all that, and being a professional runner, being based in the US has a lot of advantages, and being based in Australia is very challenging for a lot of people just with the logistics of travel and stuff. But you are one of the athletes that manages it so amazingly. What is it like from your perspective being an Australian athlete based in Australia trying to compete in, such a international sport where almost all your races happen in Europe? Like, how do you find like navigating those challenges and stuff and living out of a bag for, I'm not sure how many months you were on the road this year, but it's certainly a lot.
Yeah, I think generally it's 4 to 5 months you're away from home. But I feel like I've got better over years. I think the first couple of years is pretty tough when you kind of pack up everything and you're not coming home for a while. I'd be lying if I said the travel wasn't hard. Obviously, the 20 hours of flying sucks. So if you can avoid only doing it once a season, that's probably preferable. But I think you just get good at adapting. I think if you can survive that flight over, you can kind of survive anything you're going to see in races. That's probably the hard part.
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely tough. But I think for me, it works purely because I love being in Australia. I don't think I could base anywhere else outside the European season other than being back in Australia. I feel like it's obviously my home. I've got my family here as well. And it's also, we kind of miss out on winter here. Where we kind of go summer to summer, which makes it a little bit easier packing up when it starts getting cold.
Yeah. And we know you pretty well. We know that you're a very disciplined athlete. When I've been around you, I've always been impressed. You just take care of business. And I definitely think it takes someone with those types of attributes to make it work. Because on the road, it's easy. When you're on the road for so long, I think it's easy to get burnt out and distracted. But you seem very focused and, you're very dialed in with everything you do, which is always impressive. Do you think that you were one of how many athletes? 7 athletes that competed in the trifecta this year of World Cross, World Outdoors, World Road Running. Do you think you would ever want to do that again?
I think any opportunity, the chance to represent your country, I'd be happy to do it. But yeah, it is a long season. Obviously, we had Cross so early, and then obviously the big one's the World Champs in Budapest, and then obviously Latvia was almost What was it? I think it was almost October. It wasn't far off.
When was Latvia?
September? Was it September?
First of October.
It was 1st of October.
It was 1st of October. Holy crap.
It was. It was on the 1st.
Just a long season, but if I think if the opportunity arises, you're going to take it up if you can. So it was awesome to be able to compete for Australia 3 times this year. But yeah, as I said, it does make a long season.
Yeah.
How do you feel about coming to Boston in January? What do you think of Americans using Boston to qualify? I haven't seen you having an indoor season lately.
Unfortunately, just the travel's too big, and I'm trying to avoid the cold over there. But I think obviously the indoor races are fun. They look like people run fast. So
Short tracks.
Yeah, it's kind of coming from Australia. It's just like indoors isn't a big thing. So it's like I don't think it gets talked about as much as for us guys, especially when we have our domestic season down here. So people run outdoors. So I know Americans love the indoors, but for us it's not huge on the radar.
Do you think that the Boston short is track? Track is short, sorry.
Oh, I'm going to leave it to you boys to decide, but
Man, Stewie's being too coy right now. He's trying to be all... he doesn't want to be controversial today.
I don't hold anything back on this podcast.
I've heard many times people who have also run PBs or whatever and have called it short. So if people are talking down their own saying short, I reckon there's a fair chance.
I've said that multiple times. I think my 13:09 5K indoors is like a 13:19 outdoors. So
we'll give it 10 seconds.
10 second
That's
conversion.
the Joe Klecker.
That's the Joe Klecker
I think Joe, after he ran 12:54, he said that probably means I'm in 13:04 shape right now.
Yeah. So it's just that measurement.
Yeah, it's good shape to be in.
Do you reckon we need an indoor track in New Zealand or Australia? Because what about if you wanted to run in Glasgow, for example? If you want to run World Indoors, but you don't want to have to travel to qualify, like why don't we just throw an indoor track up, but in the summer, and then run fast on an indoor track?
Yeah, I think it'd be good. Even as an exhibition, a one-off indoor race would be cool. Because like obviously you can bring it to Australia. If you bring good athletes, they're going to turn up. We saw it at Melbourne Track Classic this year.
Yeah.
If you bring good athletes, even in Australia, people will turn up in the crowd. So it would be cool one day to have a one-off exhibition race down there, or a meet, and then have people come in. Because I think when I raced indoors 2019, the atmosphere is amazing just because it feels like the crowd's so close on the track. So it would be cool to have, but I'm not sure logistically how easy it will be to do.
What they should do is put up the track and then also host World Indoors. Like, you don't have to have an indoor track in a freaking cold and, like, it doesn't have to be as cold as Boston where inside it's warm but outside it sucks. You could just have it inside and then go to the beach outside and race inside.
Win-win.
That's a win-win for me, yeah.
Like, we should be hosting World Indoors down there.
Make it happen.
I think the hard thing for us is getting the rest of the world willing to come down. Obviously, we saw with hard getting people to come. They're scared of that flight. So if people are willing to come down and they put their hand up, maybe we can make it happen.
100%, because we definitely noticed there was a bit of a lacking in the world cross-country numbers. People struggling to get to Australia because we do forget how far away we are from the rest of the world.
So
we're not
far.
close.
So far.
But, like, I mean, the Murray Plant meet in Melbourne was, like, huge success, I think, and it was great for Australian athletics. I was wondering, Stewie, do you have, like, a favourite race from the season that you look back on and think that was my favourite moment of your season for 23?
To be fair, I would say probably Bathurst purely because it was just a home championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got to share the as well there, mate. And it was just amazing atmosphere, having family and friends there. I don't know if we'll ever have another major in Australia or another World Cross in Australia like that. So, yeah, just the atmosphere was amazing. So that was probably top of my list. But, otherwise, where else is good? I actually really enjoyed Budapest. I think it's an awesome city, and they did an amazing job with that World Champs there as well.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it from the boys.
Yeah. Speaking of holding majors in Australia, you're our current correspondent down under. Is Comm Games going to happen, or is it just like canned?
I have no idea. I think no.
I thought
no
you were
one
the man
really
to
has
ask. I thought you were going to be the man to ask. I thought you would know.
There you go. No, I actually have no intel. So the intel I see is watching the news in the morning. It sometimes pops up saying it's getting cancelled, it's going there, someone's going to make a bid. So I don't even know if the organisers know right now. So I think it's just a wait and see situation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's tough. That's tough news, but we heard it here from our correspondent.
Yeah, Ollie will be the infinite Comm Games 1500 champion. Not that bad. Not that bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ollie can say he never lost.
You can say I never lost
Comm
comms, mate. I can always just say that.
Well,
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You can tell your grandkids that you're defending Commonwealth champ.
When I'm
Still,
like 85.
Still amazing. I think we'll let you go at a little bit, Stewie, but one last thing. I just want to ask you about how famous you are in Australia, because it's like, we grew up, Australia, like people, if they do running in Australia, like they're passionate about it, like people, it becomes like a big part of like their social life and everything. And it's pretty cool to see. And the only weird thing for us though, is when you come over to the US, you often feel like you're in a different universe. Like you get that level of detachment, which is kind of sad because, we would love to all be in Australia or New Zealand if we could, but it's just like not the reality. But are you pretty famous? Like when you run around Melbourne, are you getting people like yelling out like, "Go Stewie"?
Yeah. Unfortunately not. I think especially Australian rules football is so big here. It's like they're the superstars down here. It's probably a little bit different down where I'm from in Tassie, just because there's no AFL team and it's a bit of a smaller kind of like population wise. But yeah, in mainland Australia, just the AFL and the rugby guys just dominate too much. So we kind of fly under the radar, which is kind of nice actually. I kind of prefer that anyway.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too famous.
Don't want to get too famous.
It's like you were in Melbourne. They don't have Wi-Fi on Tassie yet, right?
It's still coming, yeah. Like I'm in Melbourne. I can FaceTime you boys here. Otherwise, I'd have to do it pigeon.
Yeah.
Via pigeon.
Via pigeon.
Your podcast via pigeon.
The last thing I want to talk about is last time around December, Stu and I did some handicap races in Tassie, and honestly, probably one of the best experiences I've had with the sport. A lot of our fans, or Americans particularly, were watching and kind of trying to figure out what was going on. Stewie, can you fill us in on like what those events mean to Tasmania, in particular, like the handicap races, the wood chopping? Hyped? It's just so hyped. You get great fan engagement there, and it's just such a cool event. So would you be able to like tell us like how big that is in Tassie? Because I feel like that's quite big. That's where you get like a bit of a fan base coming in to support the local heroes yourself.
Yeah, so obviously it's hard to explain to people how big it is for the community down there. It's like probably the biggest event in northwest Tasmania. So I think they generally get about 5,000 people packed in around the stadium to come watch. There's wood chopping. There's obviously the men's mile, which is the main one.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cycling as well. But it's a crazy atmosphere down. It's kind of like a carnival or a party when you're out racing. So, awesome. And any of you boys are always welcome down. If you're back in Australia and you want to come down for a race, it'd be good to have you boys down, and we can try and boost the crowd with a few more coffee club fans down there as well.
Oh, we would
That's
love
100%.
We would love to do that if we could.
That's the plan. Well, it's a pretty cool event, and I implore any Aussies listening, if you guys ever want to go down to Tassie and race it, it's a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah, so cool. It was so cool to see you boys out there last year. But still, is there anything else that you want to say to our thousands and thousands of listeners? Millions of listeners before we let you go?
Jeez, you got me nervous here, boys. I just want to say congrats, boys. I'm impressed you've got through. Your setup, you look like you got a good professional setup there, boys. So onwards and upwards from 100, I say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, for the kudos, they've done pretty well. We got to keep our wits about us and keep it rolling.
Keep on our toes.
Yeah, keep on our toes.
Nah, we appreciate it a lot, Stewie. Thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck with all your training and everything down under, and can't wait to see you again.
Yeah.
Love it, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Stewie.
Cheers, mate. What a great guy.
Outstanding.
I just love him.
I didn't know how that was going to go, but if I had to guess, I would not have predicted that you were going to ask him to explain AFL.
I think it was a great idea.
This is the thing with AFL, and this is what I feel like with the flag football situation. It's really bugging me, and I want people to watch that sport because that sport in particular. I was explaining it to Jason, our treatment guy, our magician. That sport's pretty much middle distance runners, but buffed up and like running into each other because it's such a hard sport to do. It's on a massive cricket pitch, and it's just constant running, constant jumping, catching, kicking, even punting. And it's one of those sports that I think a lot of people in the US in particular, our fan base, would love to watch. I think it's an amazing sport, and I know Stewie's a huge fan of it. And
you were trying to distract from Australia's performance at the Rio World Cup.
That might have come into the back of my head personally, because our rugby team needs to take a step back a little bit and maybe reassess a few things. But yeah, maybe. But in general, I thought Stewie, coming from Tassie, but also living in Melbourne, being around it, good to explain it, and also just an amazing guest to have on because he really is one of the most consistent runners at that Diamond League level, and a huge presence in the sport. Really, he plays it down with that charm. Aussie King Island charm, but he really is a massive. I feel
like he was one of the early, I don't know, early is not the right word, but middle, like 1500 runners to throw down with Jingle.
I think so. Has he beaten Jakob?
I don't think he had. Well, maybe when Jakob was like
Yeah.
15, 16.
But he
would have beaten him.
I
but
mean,
Like a lot of times, like going with Jingy.
he
I'm
was.
pretty sure Stewie, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Stewie's the first Australian mid-distance runner to win a Diamond League. I think he is. Because the Diamond League was around 2010. I don't think we had anyone winning Diamond Leagues until he came in.
Yeah,
He
I
won a
can't-
few that year too.
He's won Doha, he's won Brussels. He honestly is huge for
Oslo.
the sport. Oslo?
Wait.
Oslo Mile, he won that.
Why
Australian
was
record.
Jingy not there?
I think he might have been sick. I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't quote me on that. But he's a massive figure in the sport and an amazing person, also a huge role model for a lot of mid-distance and distance runners in Australia. So it was great to have him on and good to see the Wi-Fi works in Melbourne too.
He was
Very
around
impressive.
12:56 for 5K, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is
Have
insane.
I said it on the podcast where I think he's actually like a 5K guy, and I think if he just focused on the 5K, he would run ridiculously fast.
That conversation has come up a lot, and I think he knows it too. But he has the love and the passion for the 1500, as do I. So I definitely know where he's coming from, where he's like, that can wait. That 5K can wait. 1500, he wants to give it a good crack. So
Yeah,
wish him the best of luck.
he's a good guy. He's held my cats before.
Really?
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came over
Yeah.
one time, held my cats.
He's a
So-
good bloke.
Yeah, we love him. Back to memory lane for a little bit, if we may. Some of the other things that have been brought up. Actually, I should mention at least one guy, Joe, in our requests. He did bring up AFL. It's like someone said one of the best memories of the podcast was when we talked about, I think Buddy Franklin, kicking 1,000th AFL goal
Mm.
because he said the YouTube video was just so crazy and so cool.
They're still
So,
in the field before
Yeah.
the game ended.
My brother was there. He's still
Yeah.
on the
Right.
field. Yeah, my brother
So-
was there.
so shout out to that. Another little AFL reference, but back to some flag stuff action.
Philippe.
Another story from, I believe this was early days, and it was tangentially linked to Bauman, was Poopgate.
Poopgate.
You guys remember that one?
I remember Poopgate. Geordie, you're the one that covered that story quite a bit with Coffee Club. Can you give us a rundown of what Poopgate was?
I think that was because I had the Flagstaff correspondent.
You did.
feeding me inside knowledge,
Yeah.
Secret.
through the interwebs. It wasn't actually on the ground where it happened at the scene of the crime. Did we ever get to was the crime ever solved?
I think it was. I think we threw out some accusations
We certainly did.
towards the Canadians.
I think we jokingly blamed Bauman. Is that how they're related?
Yeah.
we
but knowing
jokingly blamed Bauman.
Knowing that they weren't really responsible.
Because that was the time when
But it
we
was
talked
funny,
about
yeah.
Bauman every single week, I think.
Because we just needed someone to.
That's now.
Something to talk
That's
about.
now as well.
And we're back full circle. But I
It
think
was funny to blame them.
I think we did report on the podcast that like the end like people that got blamed was the Canadians.
It was the French.
Oh, well, that's
Canadians.
narrowing it down a lot.
I think that was what was word on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
French
not good.
and
French Canadian was the word in the street. That was the definitive word.
and
I
Flagstaff
heard.
really lost an asset in terms of best training location.
They couldn't
When-
train there for a while.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Sedona said,
Nope.
no one's allowed back.
Either you pick it up or you're not coming back. And no one decided to get out and pull their gloves and
Yeah, you think if they like put in like a doggy bag that would have been all good?
yeah, but you'd have to have a big doggy bag.
I don't know about
How
that.
do you know? I don't think the size was reported.
Yeah, but I feel like human,
Just assuming.
yeah, it would be bigger than dog.
I don't know. I've seen Gus.
Gus has actually proven that wrong. But yeah.
That was a funny time, and
that was a
must have
huge
been
story.
Slow news cycle.
Was it slow?
Well, it's winter.
What was happening in the
Winter.
sport?
I don't know, but it was a
Winter.
slow news cycle. You know why it was slow? Because Flow Track, Let's Run, like all the media outlets were reporting on it, and you're like, you definitely know it's slow when they're reporting on Poopgate. So, yeah.
Is Sedona back?
I think they are. I think people have returned, but also it seemed like there was a lot of people training in Cottonwood last track season.
So it caused a shift.
So I still think it is harder to get on. I believe Sedona requires booking and maybe money.
Ooh, money.
Maybe money has to change
Money.
hands.
Not money.
Cottonwood
I
less
can
so.
answer that for money. Well, I mean, Mike Smith's rolling in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rolling in what?
He's rolling in it. Rolling in the cash, in the
Oh.
dosh.
Just
From-
NAU in general.
Yeah, wait.
NAU
is just-
is known for its
Yeah.
its money.
Oh, yeah, it's rolling in
A
it.
very wealthy school, very wealthy program.
Definitely part of the
Mm.
reputation. I think if you win Big Sky conference, I think you get like $1 million. It's probably like $1 million.
I'm pretty sure that University of Texas and the NAU budget are pretty much the same.
Revenue must be similar.
It's double revenue at NAU because you have people coming in to visit Mike Smith. So big money.
Yeah, football teams on pretty similar level.
I'm just saying when
That's
I
all the
mean,
cross country
100%.
team.
I'm just saying when Michael Smith releases that book, My Mountain, My Rules by Michael Smith, Flagstaff edition. When he releases that book, that memoir, that biop, whatever you want to call it, it's just gonna make so much money. It's gonna sell so many copies.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No. Audio only. No one wants
the
to
Mike
read
Smith
it.
audio
We
book.
just want.
That would be crazy.
It's like reading Greenlight. Greenlight?
Yeah, that's the one.
But the audio, Matthew McConaughey's book. I actually read it. Now I regret it.
I only did the audio book for that.
See, that's just a no-brainer.
While cross training, I was so
Mm.
Did
you not fall asleep?
inspired. I was inspired. I was hyped up.
Did he do the right?
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's what he gets paid to do.
Yeah. It's like that guy that goes, "Let's get ready to rumble." He gets paid for that alone. Like,
Isn't
gets
it like
$1
$1 billion every time
Yeah.
he says it?
He gets like so much money saying it. We need something like that. We need a catchphrase like that in Coffee Club to make money off.
Yes, we do.
Is it textbook George? Is that it?
Are we gonna ride textbook George all the way to $1 billion?
Mm.
We can try.
We can see we can take it to the bank.
We can certainly try.
Yeah.
So, along with Poopgate, a lot of people also actually enjoyed our fantasy draft, our 4x-mile fantasy draft.
Yes.
I thought about that recently.
People said it was
because
underrated.
I think we need to go back and reassess now that we've got 2 343 milers in the mix.
Oh, that does change things.
I think that
doesn't it?
changes a lot because I had Jingy. Who had Yarid? You had Yarid? I think you did.
I had Yared. I feel like my team now is significantly better, except I'm on my team, so that might make it worse.
No. We made a stipulation that it was everybody at their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be you in the future.
So Morgan, you've really struggled this season.
No, he's got El Garouge.
Yeah, but we've really taken a jump.
Oh yeah,
You
we've
guys-
improved.
and you
Morgan stayed
haven't.
the same.
You can say I have struggled, but I would say I was already like 50 meters in front at least.
Okay,
So-
okay. Most people gave you the lead, but me and Ollie have closed the gap this
you
season.
have a couple more.
2023 has closed the gap.
Third and fourth. Was it third and fourth fastest all time? Jingy and
third
Yaris?
and fourth fastest
that
all
sounds
time.
right.
Yeah,
sounds
that
right.
definitely helps a lot.
That helps.
I'm not going to deny that. That really helps in the power rankings.
I actually had Stewie, so
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about my team. Although, what did Stewie run in that race? I think 49.
So
I think his PR is still the same.
he's 48.
Yeah.
48.89, I think.
Yeah.
His PR.
Oh, we do have another call coming in soon, I believe. But before we get to that, we have like just a miscellaneous section on our notes of like best memories, and there's just some ones that you just crack up to. One of them is George calling out listeners over 30 years old, which I really like that one because that was one like uncalled for. I would say
out of pocket as well.
it just
out
came
of
out.
pocket.
I don't think Ollie and I were prepared for
No,
him
I
to.
was not prepared at all.
Like I didn't think that this was going to be the day that we alienate half of our listeners when we started that episode.
Mm.
Apologies to everyone that's over 30.
Have I properly apologized? I feel like I have. And I feel like I was only 45% serious. But I do love that.
I love the
it now has
percentage of that
become-
seriousness is 45.
That's still a lot.
That's still a decent
Yeah,
That's
amount.
still a
less.
lot.
It was less. But I love now how it has become a requirement. Not requirement. It exists on the coffee bags. Like people will put in age demographic when they give us a bag, which
lot
I
of people,
appreciate.
Yeah, proudly telling us they're over 30 and they listen to the podcast. So thank
Or
you
even
for
if they're
everyone
not.
that
but they put
spoke
in-
out.
We love our
We
old
have
listeners.
fans from all different demographics, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Another one was episode 69, which doesn't feel like that long ago, but it must have been like a year ago.
Mm.
Well, not a year, but a long time ago.
A long time ago.
I can't remember at all what we talked about apart from the fact that we were naked.
I was going to say
I
we
think
were.
that was the only stipulation.
Yeah.
That was the
And
only
we also
thing that
didn't
made it
talk about
special.
it. People on the YouTube were the only ones that could see it. So that was a great little nugget there.
Audio listeners really missed out.
Yeah, they really did. They might have to go back and see that episode and see what all the fuss is about.
We should put that one behind a paywall.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And we are back now. We just took a little break because we have some very special guests joining us in the studio, currently behind the cameras looking at us. And our next guest has requested a walk-up song. He said, I'm not going to come on the show if I don't get this. So see, if you're a true fan, you'll already know who's coming.
You'll already know, and you'll be just so excited.
I wish that we got to hype him up. I wish I knew all his accolades. You can come join us now.
SEC champ Mario Garcia Romo,
Spanish champ,
Spanish champ,
NCAA champ,
4th at Worlds in 2022.
Were you 5th this year?
6th.
6th? Yeah, just make sure you talk to them. Mario, how you feeling?
Yeah, happy to be here. It's a very special episode 100. So congratulations, guys. And yeah, I mean it's the start of the year, so I'm very excited to train with you guys and to just have fun.
You had a very long Instagram post caption 2 days ago, and it was all in Spanish.
Yeah, it was one of my journal entries. So I thought it was a good moment to share. I started the season, just showing the goals for the year and kind of like my priorities, and I think it was. I wanted to share that with my followers.
No, I mean it's not easy though. I at least find it really hard to share serious stuff on Instagram. So kudos to you for doing it.
Thank
I
you.
think there are a lot of people that really appreciate it. So
Thank you.
But
Is your journal in Spanish?
Yeah, sometimes Spanish, sometimes English, but mostly Spanish. Just it's the way I can express myself a little better, I think. And yeah, sometimes I get a lot of shit for not posting in Spanish. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. A lot of people tell me like you gotta post in Spanish because you're Spanish, and I was alright. Like I'll do one in Spanish this time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it's time to try calling our next guest, who this is really, really rapidly becoming a full mid-distance 1500 podcast, which I guess makes sense. But let's bring him in.
Oi!
Hello.
There he is.
Oi, oi.
Who is that?
Who is that? That's the world champ, Josh Kerr. We just called him in to Coffee Club 100. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm honored to be on the 100, or I guess you guys did the 99 points, so the proper 100th episode, so I'm honored.
We had to wait. We knew you had a busy schedule, so we thought let's extend it out 10 weeks until we're certain that we can get Josh Kerr on. But yeah, you're currently joined by the 3 Coffee Club boys, and also Mario is here on the mic just to make it extra.
Hello, Josh. I don't know if you can see me.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see, but hopefully you can hear us all. The most important thing. First off, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. We're probably you guys a week and a half back into training, official practice and things. So just getting back in the swing of things and back down the bottom of the mountain like everyone else and starting that process to climb back up. So it's humbling, I would say. So I'm enjoying it though. It's a good process.
How unfit are you?
I didn't get that unfit, thankfully. It's like after the Olympics, you should have seen me. I was rolling.
Tell us more.
And so that scared me. It really did. It's like it scared me for last year. It scared me this year as well. Like I'm always just always aware. But still had a great time off season. Definitely forgot how to run for a bit, but it came back reasonably quickly, so not too bad.
How was Mr. Ribeye, David Ribich's wedding? Was that a lovely event?
I know. I can't believe you guys weren't invited.
Yeah, you must have lost that invite in the mail.
I thought we were going to get
Yeah, so did I.
We've moved recently, so
It probably got messed up in the moving.
Yeah, I think so. No, it was fantastic. I got roped into doing his speech, even though I wasn't his best man. So I to be honest, I genuinely think it was because he wanted me to say nice things about him, because I don't do that a lot. And I said some nice things about him, and no, it was great actually. We were in Portland for it, so it was good weather and good company, so can't complain.
Yeah, I think so. Today, in this episode, we've been taking a big trip down memory lane, which, I mean, first off, we should just say we both have podcasts, and you guys actually started well before us. So, we kind of followed in your footsteps in some ways, but we've been taking big steps down memory lane. And one of the big moments for us was Millrose 2022. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, no, I remember.
And I mean, the race itself was an amazing race, but it was more all the comments and the back and forth that happened after the race that we spent time reminiscing about. How do you look back on that that time period, and in particular, a certain Outclassed comment that may have slipped out of someone's mouth?
Oh, ropey comment. I think we can all describe that.
Oh God.
No, it was. That's the thing, is I think like Ollie and myself have had this kind of back and forth rivalry since college, and it's one of those ones that I think both of us really want to beat each other. But like, as soon as gun to tape, we're gonna battle, and then outside of it, we're just gonna banter. So it was, that was a tough loss for me after coming off the medal and then having a horrible fall, and then like actually starting to feel in pretty good shape, and then I was actually okay with the race. I think I made a couple mistakes in there, and it wasn't. But overall, it was a great race to be in, and I did get beaten very well. But like hearing that comment, I was like, "Damn, that hit home," So
no.
Do you want to explain yourself to him? I don't know if you've ever had the platform to explain yourself to Josh's
face to
face, or camera to camera. Yeah, I was trying to think of a word to say that. I just outleaned him or beat him, but not saying outleaned, and I said outclassed. And we both went through the. On the podcast earlier, that outclass means a completely different broad spectrum of things, not really outleaning. So it wasn't the right word, but I think it's set up for a good banter.
Because then you hit back, which I mean I think everyone would have expected you to do.
Yeah, it was great.
You hit back.
I was like, I can do one of two things. Either I can be like, obviously he probably didn't mean it the way that everyone took it, or I can just double down. And I was like, let's just double down.
You got to double down on that. Yeah.
But overall, it was a good race. Good meet overall as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I'm talking to Ray about Millrose now, and I'm like trying to make the decision between mile and 2 miles. So
yeah.
2 miles.
Well, you've won both. Have you won both? You won the 3K
I've never
last
run
year.
I think I've been second in the mile like 3 times.
Okay.
3 times.
Okay. So maybe it's time to. I mean, you're world champ now, bud. You're world champ, so it's probably a big headline if you're running that mile. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I think we would all like to know how much your life has changed after becoming world champ. I remember from my outside view of your life, because we were staying in the same hotel in Budapest, I just remember like I think I went to breakfast and you were sitting outside like waiting for like a very proper interview. Like, it's proper interview when they bring out like the nice lighting and stuff. And I saw you like sitting outside doing this. I'm like, he's probably so tired, but like you have to do it because that's, the big news. And then I'm pretty sure like I went to lunch. I'm like, he's still out there like doing this interview. Like what's happening? Like obviously there's all that kind of like stuff that you have to do, which can be annoying, but I mean, you want to capitalize it. But in general, like, are you just like asking for like crazy appearance fees? Like what's going on with your life now, now that you're a world champ?
That day was a long day because we went out with Wyman and Neil and stuff like that. My parents were there, and like Brooks were there, and like Wyman just brought us to the grungiest, like darkest club you could find. My parents were wearing my backpack, so it was a bit of a wild night. And then I had a 6 a.m. call the next day for like being on those interviews, and just doing everything I can to keep British Athletics' financial situation in place, And,
put the team on his back.
It was funny because I got to the hotel like right after the track, right? And Neil was already going out, and I was like, "Where are you going, Neil?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Josh's party." And he was like, just when I was getting back into the hotel, I was like, "Oh yeah, like he's gonna have so much fun tonight."
The best thing
to be fair to Neil, I got back to the hotel actually the next day because I stayed in my fiance's hotel that night, and there was a little letter there that said, "Hey fella, give me a text on this number. I need to buy you a beer," something like that. So he was awesome.
The best thing about that was I was in Australia and I was up at like 4 a.m. and my mum and I went to coffee down at the beach and we saw Josh won and we're pretty excited about it. Obviously, amazing achievement. But the best thing was a couple hours later, like near the early morning, I had a text from Ray and he's like, the boys are missing you out, and then it's a photo of you and Whiteman that I have on my phone, and Whiteman looks like he's seeing stars. He's just completely out of it, and you're just with him with a UK shirt on with pride, and that was a great photo from Ray. I just thought that's unreal. So it was good to see that you were able to enjoy and celebrate a huge win. So but yeah, I can imagine the next day was very tiring.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, and to be honest, like the only big things that have changed are just like there's always something to do every day, and like just having obviously I'm in Seattle, so Brooks are using me for all their stuff, and then we're doing adverts, and people are like trying to write a book about me and Whiteman, and trying to talk about doing a documentary series and stuff like that. So there's so much shit to do every day, and I would say that's probably the biggest difference. I mean, Millrose is the first conversation about races, so hopefully that appearance fee goes up slightly from last year. But, I think I got 0 last year, to be fair. I think I got nothing to run the 3K, so it has to go up from there.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
You'd hope so. How do you feel about, people say the hardest year of your career is the year after your best year. How do you approach, coming into this next year with a world title and probably a bit more pressure on your shoulders?
I think I can't really be scared to run the year the way that I ran this year, which is lose a lot. I only won 1 1500 this year, and I only ran like 3 or 4. And so for me, like I don't feel a lot of external pressure to like repeat, because I look back in the statistics and no one who's not been done for doping has held on to an Olympic or world title really over the last 10, 15 years. So, it's such a difficult event, like, obviously you guys all know, but I don't feel the external pressure from the sport to be like, you have to keep this, like you have to win. But like mentally, like if I go into the Olympics and get anything worse than like a silver medal, then it would be worse than I did in the past Olympics. So that's kind of where my head's at with it. But again, I can't really be scared to lose. I can't be scared to race. And that's where my head's at mostly with it. It's just put the work in, try and stay away from injuries and try and do what I can. But I think, the Olympic year is going to be so different, just because I feel like everyone steps it up like they did back in 2021. And then, you're adding in a lot of people that were really disappointed with some of their years and maybe some of their championship performances. So, yeah, everyone's going to be on a tear, I think, especially early.
Yeah, speaking of early, I remember a couple of years ago, I think you and Jake both chose not to run in Belgrade. Is that a slightly different story, seeing as you've got a home championship in Glasgow? Is that... like, how much pressure do you feel to race that? How much pressure is Scottish athletics? Maybe you don't want to hear this question.
That's the tough question.
That's a tough question. It's a hard-hitting question, Josh.
But sure, that's got to be huge for Scottish athletics.
Yeah, I feel like I let them down at the Comm Games as well, so it's kind of double as well. I'm in lots of because the Scottish Athletics awards are on tomorrow night, and they're like wanting me to like zoom in and stuff like that, and I'm getting an email about every 15 minutes to make sure that I'm in on that. So I can imagine World Indoors in Scotland is going to be a pretty similar event where they're just going to be emailing me a lot about it. But again, I've never ran a World Indoors. If it fits in terms of like I'm injury free through the fall and I'm feeling good, I'll run Millrose, feel good, and then we'll make the decision from there. It's definitely on the radar because obviously it's in Glasgow, it's in Scotland. It's very close to home, but I know a lot of people on my team are really thinking about it. So it definitely fits into the schedule. With the World Championship fits in the schedule. But if I'm being honest, a World Indoor gold medal and no medal at the Olympics, or no medal at World Indoors and a medal at the Olympics, makes more sense to me. So I think that's where my head's at with it. Has always been with it. And maybe that'll change if things go well for me at the Olympics. Then I can start branching out into different competitions. But Worlds and Olympics are always kind of been the outdoor Worlds and Olympics have always been the ones that kind of get my plums pumping a little bit.
It's also a complicated year because there's Europeans. So we
so
have
much
3
going
major championships in 1 year, just like last year, I guess. So it's going to be interesting for all Europeans, like, are we going to do Europeans and maybe risk the Olympics a little bit, or like, where are we going to decide?
Yeah, those are some very hard decisions to make. But one thing I do like a lot about hearing you speak, Josh, like I listened to your guys' podcast episode post Worlds, and I guess it's kind of easy to say afterwards after you like win Worlds or everything, but it's like everything you do seems very thought out and intentional, and you do a great job at prioritizing, which races you want to do, which is not it's not easy to choose, like we're talking about right now. Like, of course you want to go run World Indoors at home. Like, that sounds amazing, but it's like, yeah, you understand what your priorities are. And I think that's something that is really cool. And one of the other things that was really interesting that you talked about in that same podcast episode was all the stuff about the diet and the, I don't know, do you call it a diet or having a chef? I'm not sure. But the funniest thing was I didn't see your post-race interview after Worlds, but then all over Instagram and like on the socials, I just saw everyone like posting about like Josh has a chef, Josh, all this stuff but it was really cool to hear you like talk about it more than on the podcast. Is that something that is now like, yeah, every year I'm going to try and do like have a chef and take that stuff more seriously because obviously you had so much success with it?
Yeah, I think, again, people like, it's the same with all of us. Like interviewers find the small, like, detail that they want to talk to you about and like trying to expose about something. And that was like a big thing. Like one of I think Jonathan Galt was like running down the media things to be like, so tell me more about this thing. What were you? What weight were you? What weight do you normally? I'm like, dude, come on. And, but like, it did make a big difference in terms of injury and illness. I think was one of the biggest things for me is, going into 2022, I don't think my body was as resilient as it had been or it should have been. Because, trying to get into, PB shape, trying to be, running all these hard workouts, I probably wasn't fueling properly. And so, yeah, hired on a chef for the prep camp for Worlds, and I've kept her on. I'll probably keep her on for full time now. So she's cooking for me still now. It just helps. I think it takes the guessing game out of things. Our nutritionist works really closely with her, and I have fun now and again, but I think for when we're building this training up, it just allows me to kind of follow a path where I'm not getting too skinny or I'm getting too fat. It's always a nice little in between. But yeah, I don't know. I like to invest in what we're doing. Like I guess we're the business, and that's a nice little write off for me. So it's good.
Oh man, I want a chef now.
Yeah, I'm starting to think
Where
of
do I get one of those?
ideas to set up a coffee club chef. Maybe
Would you have lunch, Ollie?
McDonald's. Hey, this is Coffee Club 100. I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
No McDonald's for the next 2
What
days.
are you celebrating every other day when you eat McDonald's?
Waking up in the morning.
We have Dylan
Making
eat
my bed.
McDonald's here
Fortnite
every day.
Yeah.
It works for some people. I mean, for me, like I ate a lot of McDonald's after the Olympics, and I could not get that weight off, man. I was huge, and I just can't do it. It just my body doesn't react well to anything apparently. So I get it tight from the boys for that.
So
I wish I could do it, man.
So good.
My question is, are you going to run another half marathon?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Is that in the cards? Because it looks like, I mean, it was chatter in our gym when we saw the result of that half marathon for you, and we're like, shit, should we be doing that as well? Is that the plan?
Of course. Yeah, we're discussing which half to run now because we have a couple of people on the team that have like bonuses for half. So we were trying to find one that had like an official time.
Another downhill one, right?
Course. Pardon?
Another downhill one, right?
Listen.
Was it downhill?
Listen, net downhill, sure. I'll give you net downhill. But to be honest, it was so hard. And like if you guys ran like, I don't know if you guys have raced a half before, but if you race a half, like it's not tiring, but your legs will, like my legs in the last 2 miles were just ready to buckle. Yeah. And so the downhill makes it so much worse, like the pounding. So yeah, we're discussing it right now, but I'm guessing we'll probably run San Diego again because it means that we have a benchmark for what we were in December of last year. But I'm trying to get more people in it. I think the Tin Man guys are up for it. I get a text like every 2 weeks from Drew Hunter being like, San Diego? And I'm like, yeah, man, San Diego. So if you guys are up for it, San Diego, December 18th.
Could be on the cards.
Warm weather.
It's beautiful. Going down there from Seattle in December is unreal.
Oh, I believe that.
I can imagine.
Are you in Albuquerque right now?
No, I'm in Seattle. So we do the whole fall here in Seattle, and then when it comes to the new year, I'm mostly in Albuquerque because obviously we're training more specifically for races and stuff like that. But now it's just like a lot of it's team bonding and a lot of it's getting involved with the company. I'm sure you guys are pretty similar with where we're doing onboarding on Monday with all the different parts of the company and stuff like that. So we're very much in Seattle.
Very familiar. It's as if our boss used to be your boss.
Steve DeCoker's bringing his tricks to on, is he?
Funny how that
he's
works.
pivoting. He's pivoting around. Yeah.
No, we started practice literally last week as well, and we had what they call the On Summit. So I imagine it's like a very similar thing to what you guys are doing right now. So enjoy it.
Yeah, we have that on Monday. No, ours is on Monday. It's not too bad. I think we finish it Monday night with a happy hour, so it's not like the most intense thing, so it's nice.
Is anybody invited, or can we go to the happy hour?
Listen, if you want to fly out, you guys should come here.
All right, sweet.
See you Monday.
We'll ask Steve, see if we can put that in the budget.
He's got some contacts.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions that we have for Josh before we let him go?
I guess I was gonna ask, how's Walid doing?
How's Walid?
Yeah.
Episode.
So we had a bit of a barn burner day at the workout. It probably wasn't supposed to be, and Walid's coming on well, man. It's nice to see him back at training. I don't think I trained with him like for nearly 12 months now, and so having him back, he has the beefiest shoes on though. To be fair, his shins can't take it back. Him being back in business and beefing out our 1500 squad to 4 guys makes a big difference, and it's nice to have him back fully fit, and I think he's a man that can do some damage when he's fit. So we're excited to have him back in the squad, and it was good fun today.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of my best friends and great teammate in college. And I saw a photo of you guys training together the other day, and I got really excited because I was like,
that's a good sign.
It's good to see.
He's
been a
coming
long
back,
time.
man.
Yeah,
he's coming back. He's and his personality. He's gonna be talking shit as soon as he's this one.
No doubt.
So.
As soon as he gets a little bit of fitness, he's back.
He's gonna be talking shit to us, right?
The enemies now. Well,
at the Brook Summit next week, do they unveil the latest fluoro designs for next season?
Listen, we have an advert coming out for our speed products, and so we were able to get a sneak peek at the new singlets, and they look pretty good. They're very different to how we normally look. They're very bright still, I will say that.
You're gonna get your own singlet because you're a world champ. You're gonna get your own color.
I'm not sure. I'm not saying no to that. How about that?
Okay. Well, guess we'll find it at Millrose then. We'll find it at Millrose.
Millrose, you will have a very good idea what we'll be wearing. So it's in the works. I haven't seen it yet though.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for giving us your time today. Is there anything else you would like to say to our fans before we see you off?
Well, it's a pleasure obviously coming on, and it's an honor to be on the 100th episode. I do get sent a lot of clips from whenever you guys are talking about me.
All right, we'll talk about you more.
So, and I definitely watched your episode from last week, because I was like, maybe, I don't know if this is like going to be a practical joke or something where I'm phoning in and they're going to be roasting me or something. So I was like, I'm going to do a bit of research, but no, it's
we're not like you guys, you evil, you guys. I remember when I think it must have been when you guys had Ollie on the show, and you literally text me like, "Hey, is there any dirt on Ollie?"
No, that's Dave 101.
Yeah, and the problem is Morgan delivered too, and I had to sit there and Dave.
What was it? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but Dave read off the stuff. I'm like, how the hell does Ribeye know this shit?
It is good. It is good.
It was good stuff. It was great stuff.
But no,
he loves the team, man. But yeah, but thank you very much for having me on, guys. Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats again, and
best of luck with everything.
We'll see you soon.
See you on the start line.
Yeah,
see you soon.
Yeah, magic. See you guys later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Amazing.
Another successful interview.
Yeah.
This time with the world champion.
I was about to say, is that our first world champ?
Let me just crunch the numbers in my head. Can't remember
either, but I think our first world champ in the 1500 meters for the men.
True. We maybe have a couple of future world champs here if that counts.
Yeah.
One Olympic champs, maybe.
Yeah. European champs. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mario, how do you feel listening to Josh Kerr, your faux world champ talk?
I mean, to be honest, like one of the things before the final is I remember seeing Josh super focused. Everybody's focused, but Josh especially, he just looked like dial in, And like I had the feeling that, obviously I was going for the win as well, but like I had the feeling that he was gonna be one of the guys fighting for that win. And when he won, honestly, I think it was very deserved. So yeah, I mean, I'm super happy for him. I think he's gonna be a great competitor this year, and hopefully, like we can level up and try to beat him. I hope he's in Glasgow because I want to race the 1500 award indoors, and I hope he's at Europeans as well because I want to race there.
Of course,
but especially at the Olympic Games. Yeah,
isn't it so interesting when you hear him talk? And I think we all think of him as being incredibly consistent, especially at the big championships. But when you hear him say, "I only won one 1500 last year," he said that, right?
Yeah.
And Jakob only lost one.
Fucking crazy. But that is the nature of the 1500. Even I think of someone like when he says that, I think of Centro. I think of like he would turn up when it mattered, and then he would go to these diamond leagues and come. I'm not sure.
I think there's definitely, there's two types of races, right? There's diamond leagues where you have the pacers, and there's championship races, right? And in championship races, there is something else. There is something that you gotta have, something, like that you gotta like want to have it, like you gotta want to win it, and like we are very close together. There's no pacers, so like the race is not gonna be a 327 race. It's gonna be a 329, 330, and in that case, I think there's like many people in the world that can win that race. And Josh did an incredible race. He ran very smart. He put pressure on Jakob, which I think is what we gotta do. We gotta try to beat him, and he came out with the win. Yeah.
Could you see Josh winning, like down the home straight? Did you know what was happening up front?
No, to be honest, I didn't know because I was focused on fighting with Jared.
Jared, of course.
But yeah, like when I crossed the line, I saw he had one. And honestly, I was happy for that because obviously, not like I didn't want Jakob to win, but I thought it was good for the sport and for the event that Jakob can win.
Dude, Jared was so cheeky in that race. Is it true, Jared? I'm pretty sure you were slowing down, and then you saw Mario about to pass you, and you decided to kick again. Is that true? It is true.
Yeah. The craziest thing to me is he beat me by 100th of a second.
He knew how to time it.
Yeah, I was like, we've trained together all year long, and then you got 100th of a second ahead of me. Yeah,
he knows how to lean, man.
I know.
He knows how to lean.
The goose lean. Yeah.
The goose lean.
Yeah,
it'll get you. Oh, amazing! Wow, it's kind of crazy to just be in the room and be surrounded by so many amazing, like the world-class 1500. How many of the top 10 1500 meter runners were just in the room if we count Josh Kerr? Like 5.
I mean, if we put Stewie in that room as well, crazy. It's crazy. It's funny because you think of our sport being so hard to reach for fans, but to really connect these athletes together, it's actually not been that hard, really. It's been pretty cool.
Just a phone call away.
Just a phone call away. Just a phone call away.
Just one coffee club episode away from being fully connected to the
sport.
Fully
connected to the sport. And it's pretty incredible, particularly in the 1500, particularly personalities, I would say. A lot of good personalities in the event. And we're very, very much capitalizing on that right now.
The rest of the world final coming up soon in the guest list. We'll just go down the list.
We'll just go down that 1500 meter list, yeah.
So Mario has now left us, and we have another very special in-person guest coming to join us. And we are once again going to get some fat copyright strikes for this one.
This one in particular will probably end our coffee club cruise.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Come on.
Here he is.
You got to put the headphones on so you can get hyped up. Yeah, make sure you speak pretty close into the mic.
Gus is taking the mic away.
I'm not convinced that we can just play music like this because I don't hear other podcasts do it, and it seems like such a no-brainer.
I don't know. It's kind of a vibe, so.
Well, this episode just won't be released.
Yeah, we'll just
because of music.
That was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift. Welcome, Yara, to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
Explain to me what Taylor's version is.
Oh, yeah, of course. Basically, when her old producer for like her first 6 albums kind of sold out her like rights to own that music to someone else, someone that she really didn't like.
Scooter Braun.
Yeah, Scooter Braun.
Hey, isn't that Justin Bieber's agent?
Correct. Yeah. He's in a lot of hot water.
What drama.
And
I want to hear more about that.
She was really, really bitter about it, and just like, yo, I want to like own my own music. Like, why can't I do that? So she was like, whatever. I'm just gonna re-record all my old songs so that I own them, and then that was that. Now
That's like,
Now she's made even more money than before.
why doesn't every artist just do that? I guess they probably have
I
contracts
mean, like,
still.
yeah, like certain artists like do have the rights to their own songs. It just like kind of like depends on the producer and all that junk. But she's now 4 out of the 6, so we got 2 more to go.
Wow. So you like, does it sound any different?
It does. It's very subtle. It's like you gotta like kind of listen to the songs to really like know the differences between them. But like it's definitely like one, like the instrumental stuff sounds better. Her voice sounds more mature and better. And then she releases like 5 or 6 vault tracks that are like unheard before. So it's like
Just to
kinda
keep
new.
people,
Yeah,
a little bit of extra spice in there.
exactly.
While we're on the topic of it, so you did see Taylor Swift in Vegas, big show, maybe best night of your life. I'm not sure. Wait, what was it? What? Okay, if you could relive a day or a moment, are we going 3:43 in the mile or Vegas Taylor Swift?
Be honest.
I might go Taylor Swift. The mile was fun, but like it hurt a lot. Like, do I want to go through that pain again, or do I just want to like have a ton of fun at a concert for like 3-4 hours? Like, come on.
When you put it like
Silly question.
you have tickets for future Taylor Swift?
Yeah, when she comes back to America in like November 2024. I'll
Isn't
go
she
see her.
American? Isn't she in America right now? What do you mean she come back to
Well,
America?
her America tour is over. Like
Oh,
this
she's going
leg of the
international.
tour, and then she has an international
Is
tour.
she known internationally?
Yeah, like all those tours sold out too.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure. It's not an
Mario
American
is shaking
thing.
his head over there.
It's
Nah,
like,
it's
oh,
funny.
Bad Bunny, but you know.
And the other thing which you did a couple weeks ago, which I didn't even know was a thing, is you went and saw like some movie about her. What was that?
Oh, the Eras Tour movie.
What is that?
So basically, it just takes the entire Era Tour and then puts it in a movie, and that's it.
Was it good?
It was good. I think it's like not quite like as hype as just like being there, but like I think it's great for people who like can't afford to be there, like couldn't get a ticket because they were ridiculous for a long time. So it was a good movie though. I had a good time.
Man, I'm concerned. I think you're taking this too far. Can you love Taylor Swift too much? Like,
I think so. I don't. I think I'm at a very healthy level where like I just really like a lot of her music and like who she is as a person. But like Mario's like, if Taylor Swift ran for president, but like she was terrible, like would you vote for her? And I'm like, no. Like
you have morals still.
That's where he's drawn the line.
Yeah.
Honestly, I respect that. How do you feel about the new Travis Kelce relationship with Taylor? Do you reckon this is a good move for her? Do you reckon this is going to help her music career? Or is it just going to create more songs that come out about football references in breakups?
You know, I think if she's happy, like, then it's a good move. I feel like she kind of talks about this in like a lot of her lesser known songs, just like the need to just feel like left alone a little bit and just like to kind of like everyone leave my love life like out of like my successful career life. But you know, I think like Travis Kelce seems like a fun guy.
He's doing very well.
I don't
for
know
my
a ton
fantasy
about
team.
him. Yeah, like,
He's doing very well for my fantasy
good
team.
at
So
football.
if you can put out a message to Taylor, don't break up with him until after the NFL season, because I need him performing at his best. And I do feel like their relationship has been massive for the NFL. A lot of Swifties turning up, which is great. Are you going to be turning up to a Chiefs game because Swifties in the crowd?
no, absolutely not. I don't like
That's too
football
far.
enough.
Way too far. To close out the Taylor Swift segment of this show today, what is the maximum price you would pay to go see Taylor live?
The maximum price.
Would you pay?
If the seats were like really good,
Yeah.
I think the max I would go 1,500.
1,500. Okay. Okay.
I thought the number was going to be a lot higher, to be honest.
I think just because like I got like pretty good deals on both my tickets, to where I'm just like I would not. I don't know why.
Because I heard those tickets were much more than that.
They can get higher than that. Like, depends on where they were. Like, Vegas was really cheap because it was, like, Vegas. But, like, New York or Chicago were, like, really expensive and stuff. So,
Okay,
that's what it is.
fair enough. Glad we cleared that up. Yared, since this is episode 100 of the Coffee Club podcast and we're celebrating the show and taking this trip down memory lane, what's your favorite podcast memory?
Yes.
We laugh because Yared is the person who has probably never watched our podcast.
That's not completely true. I feel like I probably am, like, on the lesser end of things on the team, but I wouldn't put myself at the least. but of what I have watched, I guess it's kind of a cop out because it's kind of recent, but I might give it to Ollie's monologue.
Yeah.
I think we all enjoyed it a lot. But I think just kind of like seeing him just kind of like talking like that for like 30 minutes was just like, I don't know, was pretty cool, especially since like Ollie's, same training group as like me and Mario, and just, see him talk about his struggles and whatnot. Felt like it was really a really cool one and a good one that I actually saw.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to tear up right now. I'm literally about to tear up. I really appreciate that, Yaris.
Well, if we're going to talk about it, we should talk about it because it was on the notes and I was just kind of leaving it for the right moment. But that was, I think, for people that listen to our podcast, I think that would, I'm just guessing, but that would probably be like the overall like favorite episode. Like most people would probably say that was the favorite or like the most impactful. Or, I mean, the response that we got from that episode was so amazing, and I think it really encapsulated a lot of like our aspirations for the podcast, which is most of the time we're trying to be funny and lighthearted and spread positivity about like how fun running is and stuff. But ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect and bring people into our community. And I don't think there's much else that you can do to bring people into your community than opening up in that way and being so vulnerable. And so many people were able to empathize with the messages that you spoke about in that. And I think for the community as a whole, our community and, the greater running community is like such a massive moment. And especially because, it was a little bit unexpected as well.
Yeah.
And so I think we all have to just take our hats off and give credit to what you did in that episode. And it was so special.
I remember doing it, and I wrote out what I wanted to say, and I felt very, very motivated to do it with mental health and just being able to have that platform. I thought, I was sitting back and we all had monologues about certain aspects of what we do. And for me, the one thing that I was thinking about was, if I was a fan, if I was listening, what would I want to hear that maybe might confront me with some situations, but also give me some comfort? And for me, I thought mental health and my struggles would be great because a lot of people go through it in sport and in life. And for us, we're not the NFL, we're not the NBA, but we are kind of put on a pedestal for a lot of these young high school runners. There's a lot of these college runners and international runners. We have international people in this team that go home, and a lot of those fans turn up to those races and see you as that kind of figure that might be like a perfect sculpture in a museum. It's just not true. Like, we all have imperfections that make us beautiful for what we are. And I remember texting Morgan, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. I was kind of a bit worried about it. I was like, oh, maybe I can do it again. I don't know if I felt very comfortable with it, but you kind of said, no, it's good. We'll put it out there. So, and the response I got was great because I wanted people to be able to take my messages away and hopefully get something out of it for their own perspective in their own lives, because everybody deals with situations behind closed doors that they might not be so comfortable to share. And Gus just said, I'm out of here. I felt that sharing this could be great for me mentally, which I think it was. It really opened up my brain a little bit to feeling like this is not saying this is not, it's normal. Like, people go through this, and you should be able to feel these things, but also be able to convey these things and hopefully send out a good message. But also, I felt very vulnerable at that point in time because I had talked about things that I hadn't spoken about with my teammates, my parents. I had to kind of call my parents before and tell them that this has happened in my life, and I'm going to talk about it on a public situation, and that was tough. And I think that was tough for them too, because my brother and my family, like, they are my biggest support crew, and so's my teammates and my friends. And like, the amount of messages and calls that I got saying that I wish I could help, I wish I could have done this. It's like, well, you didn't know, and that's why I'm sharing this message, is because I'm hoping that when people get to that situation, they can think, well, I've always had this great relationship with Yard and Mario, and there's a situation in my life that's really weight, like, it's a lot of weight on my shoulders. I need to talk to someone about it, and that's the overall message, is that talking about something about your issues and your situations, it's really helpful, because there are, even though it seems very cynical, the world right now, there are people out there that love you and care about you, and they just want to talk. They want to hear you talk. They want to be available. And it's not just saying like, I'm going to fix your solution. I'm going to fix your problems. They're not there for that. They're there saying, I hear you. I understand what you're going through. Let's just keep this conversation going and let's enjoy those happy moments, those good moments, like getting dropped by Yared in 150s or Mario, perfect stride going past me around the bend. So like,
so annoying.
Either way. Yeah, so annoying. Either way, that's the message I was kind of trying to send along, and it was great to hear that people felt that message and got it. And I just thought that it was a thing that I could give back to the sport, but also give back to Coffee Club, because I think for the three of us, for George, Morgan, and I, this has been such an incredible bond and so special to our hearts that we don't do this every week because we have to. We do this every week because we want to and we love it. And we're very, very lucky to be in this position. So I thought that would be a great way to give back. And yeah, that's how I feel about it.
So amazing. And yeah, thank you so much. I think, the response was so good, and just, it was such a good, positive moment just overall. So it was amazing. So thank you for bringing that up, Yared.
No problem. We love you, Ollie.
Thank you. I love you too. And
it was very hard to follow up your monologue.
Yeah, that's literally one of our responses. I was like, what is George going to talk about after that?
I remember thinking that, and I also, because I
really should have put this one at the end.
I watched Morgan and George's, and the one thing is my parents are going to love anything we do, but they really loved George's and Morgan's monologue. They thought it was fantastic. And my dad in particular called me up and he said, you guys should do that every season, or every time you get a chance or opportunity, you should really do that, because
check back in,
those monologues are quite valuable, because you get that platform that a lot of people might relate to Morgan's story more than George's, or George's story more than Ollie's. And I think my dad felt that Morgan and George and my story were so amazingly unique, but also very beneficial for people listening in different stages of their lives. So I think that was an amazing thing we were able to achieve. And hopefully we can do that again. The monologues were, I think, a huge success.
Mm-hmm. I think we should do them again.
100%.
Yeah, I would love to. When the time is right, we'll be back. Yared, now that you've been with us for as long as you've been with us for, what do you rate? How do we phrase that question? Do we say what do you rate the team, or are we saying us, the Coffee Club specifically?
I think it was the team, because it was.
Was it the team?
I think it was the team.
Was it at an 8 out of 10?
No, it was like a 2. It was like a 2.
Oh, it was at a 2.
And then it went up. No, because we've asked him twice.
Yeah.
So it went up, but it still wasn't it wasn't a 10.
Yeah.
What are we at now?
I think I'll give it a 9.
Oh, that's high.
Where are we going to get that last point?
I think.
What are we lacking?
Mario Kart skills? Just say it.
I mean,
just say
you guys could improve, but I think it's I don't know, like an unspoken missing piece that just comes with time.
It's intangible.
And I think like the more time you spend with people, like the more that you kind of just like.
You just know.
Yeah, you just know.
All right. Well, I'm happy that we're not at a 10. I'm happy that we still have room to grow.
grow.
Otherwise, I would be concerned that I'd be like, all right, I've achieved everything I want to achieve with this team, with this group of people.
Yeah, see ya.
I'm moving on. He would do a reverse. He went to Bauman. He's like, this team needs some fixing.
I'm gonna go to a team that's a 2.
I'm gonna make this team into a 10 like I did at NYC.
I've run a 3:43 miles. Time to bring that back to Bauman and build them up again.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you very much for joining us for this special occasion.
One more thing. So does this thing make like funny noises? Or just,
Not yet.
He's pointing to our soundboard, which is not being configured. In the future, that's our plan. And
what are you imagining?
I don't know. It's like a dog barking sound, or just like a ba 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 or something like that. I don't know.
Hopefully we can clip that exact sound that Yara just made, and we can make that one of the sounds.
We should get Yara in for.
We're gonna have like sound like if we talk about your race, if we talk about like Yara running, we'll give you like a little maybe it'll be like the Mario Kart soundtrack.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
That's our plan.
Okay, that sounds great. Though.
So that could be the 10 right there.
That's the final piece.
Yeah. No, thank you, Yared. We appreciate you a lot. And I think we'll roll straight into our next guest. So this can be your outro music and also our next guest's intro music, if I may. Get the music going again.
Oh, Lottie. Oh,
where is our next guest?
oh, Let's fly way up to the clouds,
Oh, this is nice.
away from the maddening crowd.
Wait, should we just start having like music breaks in our podcast? Okay, we're
I
gonna
like
see.
it.
We're gonna see how the copyright goes.
It's kind of the
Let us
vibe.
leave the confusion and all this illusion behind.
Is this is the wrong version?
This is the English
Just like
version.
Who sings the original?
So good though.
I was confused that I could understand it.
Yeah.
I was expecting not to be able to understand.
This has got to be it.
Speaking
This is
Italian,
good.
right?
Oh, we found it. Do you want a little duet?
Poi d'improvviso venivo dal vento rapito.
I can't do it. Not in front of you. If I start making mistakes, I feel like I'm gonna
You're gonna offend the whole nation.
ruin a whole culture. But maybe we should mention to our listeners who's on at the moment. Does anyone have a guess? Who's our listeners? Our viewers can see.
Hey, have you said any words yet?
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao, amore.
Ciao.
Come stai?
Tutto bene. Tu?
Sì, tutto bene. Sentai Visa.
Yeah, that's me.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Recent guest
Recent,
actually.
yeah.
Make sure you talk just into it nice and
Like here?
yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So good.
This is the first time I get to be with Cinta on the podcast, so
Oh,
it's a
that's
big
true.
special moment for me.
No.
Yeah, because I was.
I've been
no.
with you like for 5
We
minutes.
did the 1 year before in St. Moritz. We did
Oh,
Oh yeah,
team.
the brief interviews with Sage,
Alicia and
Cinta,
me,
and
yeah.
Alicia.
That was like
Yeah.
Cinta's first day on the team.
That was like and got thrown straight into the deep end. We really appreciate you hitting that hard.
First day on OAC, first day on Coffee Club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way it
goes
goes.
hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. So, Cinta, do you have any favorite Coffee Club moments? You've been very close to the program for a while now, and you also do listen to. You listen to probably
Most of it.
most of them.
Yeah. I mean, Yard already said a good point, but what's the other one?
It is hard because if
Yeah,
you
there's
ask
so
me
many.
if you ask me that question, I probably would. I just forget all the moments. We can explore some of the antics together if you would like to make it a bit easier, because we still have a whole section on our memory list of that's just all the antics.
Great.
It'll be good for you guys also to recap, you know.
So, I mean, the first one, I don't remember when this was. This is a very specific moment. Ollie's cowboy American accent.
What?
Because you expect most of the things that are on here to be like things that have either happened regularly or like it was a big thing. I just don't know when this.
The cowboy
What made it a
American
cowboy?
accent.
Can you give it to us?
This is the issue with my American accent. I can go to the Midwestern thing of like, let's go Packers, Aaron Rodgers, cheese curds.
Yeah.
I can do that kind of. It's not very good anymore because my whole American accent is formed into one accent, Ritz. And the problem with Ritz is it's so easy to do because you just because you're like, good God, man, look at Jordy's calves. Like very easy for me to get into that. The American cowboy one.
I think when they say cowboy, it's probably Texas. It's probably Matthew McConaughey. It's probably all right.
Yeah.
I love these high school
You just
girls.
gotta keep living, man. Livin.
That's where my head goes.
Y'all just gotta keep living. Hook 'em. I don't remember where that came from. I struggle with the southern accent. I struggle with the word y'all.
I don't
y'all.
I don't understand y'all.
I don't understand y'all. Just say we. It's so much easier. Y'all doing this and y'all doing
Wait, yeah.
that.
Do you say y'all?
Yaris says it.
Yeah, but Yared's from Kentucky.
Kentucky,
so
they say it as well.
Mario
Yeah.
probably does too. Mario loves Southern
Yeah.
America.
He's from Mississippi.
y'all doing this.
Yeah,
and
because
y'all
you went to
doing
Biggest
that.
country listener I know.
Yeah, but
He is.
that's an antic. It was quite great. I'm proud to say that.
So
I was
wait,
thinking
we have a special caller.
we have someone calling in.
We just have a special caller. Is this? Oh no, we have the video. We forgot to do our whole skit with this. Say something. We were gonna pretend that you were Jerry Schumacher calling in.
Jerry Schumacher he's available
We
for
have
comment.
Jerry Schumacher on the line.
Pac-12's just
No
finished.
comment. No comment.
No comment
No comment.
on your performance at Pac-12's.
No comment. Actually, I didn't watch Pac-12. I have no idea.
Jerry probably didn't watch
Oh
it
my
either, so that's
God.
probably accurate.
Look at that set.
Tom Wang.
Tom Wang. Womtang.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm wearing my uniform. I have about
It's beautiful.
I have 7 copies of these that wear each a different color every single day.
He's talking about our merch for anyone who can't see the video. So,
which is still available, coffeeclub.pod.com.
Exactly. So Tom, right now we have Synthron as well, and we're running through some Ollie Antics, the Ollie Antics section of the memory sheet, which you made so beautifully. And the next one, which this is one of the also like most beloved moments, was the fan fiction.
Oh, the Jakob fan fiction. Yeah.
Let's Run got crazy.
Let's Run did get wild. I mean, what can I say? We're both two good-looking blokes. It's bound to happen.
Chemistry.
It's bound to happen. We got good chemistry on the track. Yeah.
Even better chemistry.
I mean, it's what I'm personally thinking about when you guys.
Yeah.
in your speed suits lined up.
Yeah, just in our speed suits. We're both tatted up now, and who knows? Who knows? No comment. No comment. I'm gonna put a no comment there, Cinta. Yeah.
Cinta, did you read the fan fiction?
No.
You actually don't know?
That's why I was so confused.
It's
well, I guess
I
we
would
got to
say it's
revisit
like a
it
fan
then.
fiction of a ship, which is like a relationship between me and Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Pretty much a romantic relationship that we're trying to we're trying to prevent happening because we have these different lives and these different situations, but we just can't help but fall in love with each other. And somebody has written that in a Let's Run chat, and it went viral for a little bit. It was quite funny.
Yeah, it was a pretty long Let's Run post, and it was really graphic.
Yeah, let's say somebody had a lot of time on their hands, and they created this.
Was it last year or no?
I think
was
so.
Mm.
Have you read?
Also,
Sorry, go ahead.
There's people have every once in a while, I'd say every couple of months, another chapter's released. And sometimes it introduces another athlete.
Yeah. So it wasn't just me. So they'd have
Didn't Jake Whiteman get
Jake
on?
Whiteman was there. I think Josh Kerr was in it.
Probably.
Yeah. They just had all these other athletes. I mean, Yaris will probably end up in one of the chapters. Mario will probably end up in one of the chapters. So they're just going to chapter every middle distance 1500 meter guy into these Jakob ships of relationships, and
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
our sport needs more of that.
Is it technically ICU canon, or is this like kind of like an alternate universe situation?
I don't know if this is ICU canon. We'd have to confirm with the writer because he somehow has.
I think we get to decide that. I mean, George came up with the term ICU, so I think we have some.
I forgot what it was for a second.
Some say in the Ingebrigtsen cinematic universe. I mean, it started well before us. They literally have a reality TV show. So we can't take credit for it beginning, but I think we've at least contributed to it in some way. And I think we will continue to do that.
Yeah. But I just say that fan fiction was quite intense. And I'd love to see who that fan was and why they came up with that. But yeah.
Tom, was it you? You can tell us.
No, it was not.
You can tell us.
I have my own secret set that I write in my diary, but I would never publish that. The world's not ready for that one.
Yeah.
Just for Tommy Boy. Another one on the list, this was just like the funniest thing ever when this happened, is Eyelash McGuckins.
Oh, no.
You guys remember that one?
Created a fan for life right there. We did. Big fan.
How do we break that one down?
Well, we break it down as this. I watched a race where Alicia led 9,600 meters of it. And then Ilish took off, got the last 400 meters down, broke the British record. And Athletics posted about it. So I thought, they didn't say anything about Alicia. She broke an American record. So then I commented, also an American record for Alicia Monson, who led 9.6K of the race. And then I checked my comments, and Ilish responded saying that I ride the tailcoats of Josh Kerr, or something like that. It was a bit of a jab. And then I realized when I looked at the post, it was a collaboration post between Ilish and World Athletics. So it looked like I commented that on her post, which I thought I commented on World Athletics. Yeah. And that was where I was like,
yeah,
crap.
she didn't take it very well.
Yeah. So then I just responded and said, wanted to give my teammate some kudos. You had a great race also. And then from there, people just commented against either Ilish or against me, just saying like, Ollie, that was so rude. Why would you comment that on her post, even though it was what Athletics posted it? And then somebody would say, wow, Ilish, you're a sore winner or something like that. So it kind of got out of proportion. But Eyelash McGuckins, you know, she's an incredible runner. She had one of the coolest races at Comm Games, I think, with 10,000 meters when she won that. So a huge respect for her as an athlete. But yeah, she did not like my comment, and that's just banter for you, I think. It was banter.
Have you seen her since? Run into her?
I've seen her around. I don't think she knows who I am.
See, I was wondering the same thing because I forgot this whole thing happened and that she probably very much dislikes us as a podcast. And I saw her in the grocery store in St. Moritz and like was quite friendly and waved and said hi. Nothing. But also she just honestly might not know who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which it was.
Yeah. I mean, she must have
But
an
I
idea
remember
of me.
afterwards I was like, oh yeah, there was that thing. That
She must have an idea of me because she said I ride the coattails of Josh Kerr. So she probably knows of me. But yeah, I mean, it's the way you go. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. You can't all have fans. But I think when people think, oh, Ollie's biggest rival is Jakob, Ollie's biggest rival is Josh Kerr, Ollie's biggest rival is Mario, Ollie's biggest rival is Yaris. No, my biggest rival is Eyelash McGuckins. So
let it be known.
Let it be known. We're going to run a 10K, and she's going to wax me. But she's eventually going to have to run a 1,500, and I'll be biding my time waiting for that race, and I'll jump in and race her.
See what happens.
Or race her in a beer mile. So that's a challenge out to you, Eyelash McGuckins. Beer mile. I'll see you in wherever you are.
Yeah.
Race her in a beer mile.
Tom, we had to have you on because you're a very, very, very special part of this show. Our super fan and much more than that to us now. You've been multiple time guest, co-host. You're just amazing. Is there anything that you would like to say to commemorate this special 100 episode celebration that we have today?
No, just thank you guys. It's been a wild ride. I can't even imagine what my past couple years would look like if George didn't throw that scarf. That's truly like my origin story. So, I personally have a lot to thank you guys for, and it's been amazing to get to know you and everyone in the OAC team. So
yeah, you're part of the family now. Very much so.
It was fate. It was
meant to be. Well,
yeah,
we'll let you go, Tom, but
thank you, Tom.
Thank you for hopping on for a little bit and joining us for this special episode today.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Love you, Tom.
Love you, Tom.
Have a great episode.
Thank you. What a nice guy. Cinta and I got to spend some real good quality time with him across Europe.
Yeah.
How was that, Cinta?
It was good.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah. I heard you guys were, obviously, you and Morgan had a pretty wild year. Very busy, very tiring. But after that, you wanted to have a bit of vacation, and you went with Tom and his partner.
I mean, the boat race.
Yeah, we had business to take care of in Latvia.
Yeah, I was just the cheerleader. I was cheering for both of them.
Yeah, but after that, did you enjoy the vacation with them, or was it quite busy? Like you kept like doing different things, and you just wanted to rest, or did you like to just hit everything as you possibly could?
They wanted it. I was just coming back on running, so I was waking up every morning at 7:30, running my 6, 7, 8 miles, and then the rest of the day was pretty
relaxed.
Always doing something, always walking.
Yeah, we had a great time, but definitely having to run while everyone else. Well, like I was on my break, so if your running partner is on their break and you have to run during vacation when you're in potentially some of the hardest places to run in the world, just logistically, the Amalfi Coast, not known for its great running.
Tom was my good friend. Every other day was running with me, even every day, I think.
Yeah.
Like the first spot, 3 miles together, and then say, see you later, and then come back to him.
There was one day where, didn't he do like a couple of workouts with you and it was just a regular run?
I mean, it was a regular run, but he said it was a fartlek for him. So he did that, and then he waited for me. He did hills, stride.
But he did this all in one run.
Well, I had 8 miles, I think. But my easy pace for him was a fartlek. So he was like, I do it with you, and worked out perfect.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. It was such a good time. Just closing out this Ollie Antics list. My personal favorite one, because this was just so funny because we had talked about this before. We ended up talking about it on the podcast, and I know Ollie feels very strongly about this. He's claimed that he can coach Donovan Brazier better than Pete Julian.
Where's Donovan now?
Is Pete still coaching?
That's a good question. We'd have to check in.
Taking over.
Yeah, so I've set up a final surge for Donovan. It's pretty much 7 days a week. 5
Fishing?
days of it's fishing. 2 days of
Still
it's
the
running.
same.
2 days
You didn't change
infinite
it.
threshold.
That's what he was
I
already
didn't change
doing.
it. But what I'm letting him do is I'm letting him fish 5 days out of 7.
It's tiring. You
I'm
know
pretty
that.
sure Pete was 4 days out of 3. So I'm giving him an extra day of fishing. No, I do stand by that because I think
It's an easy case to argue based on recent results.
Well, I don't want to feel any type of way. I remember watching Donovan run Doha 800. I'm sure you guys have watched that race. I've never seen an 800 run like that so beautifully since Rhodesia, which was very recent, obviously. But like
Yeah, I
he
know
was
what
probably
you're
the next
saying.
Rhodesia. Like he looked so good, and the amount of talent he had for the amount of mileage he was running, and also the competitiveness of that athlete was incredible. It's just really sad to know that he's probably going through a lot of setbacks, a lot of struggles, and Pete's obviously trying really hard to get him back on track. But I do stand by it. I feel like I'd be a great coach for Donovan because I would go fishing with him, and we'd have chats,
that's
and
the
he could
difference.
teach me a bit about fishing, and
He would
then
move to Florida.
I'll teach him a bit about. I guess I'll just teach him about what not to do when it comes to running. But yeah, I still stand by that.
Ollie's never not double down on anything.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's a great
Well,
attribute.
I feel very attacked right now. I mean, yeah, I feel like I'd love to coach Donovan. And if I coached him to a Olympic gold medal, then, would you guys be laughing then?
No, but it's funny because it's like you look at an athlete like Donovan, and I think your initial instinct would be like, this guy must be the easiest guy ever to coach because he's so low mileage sprinting, but then you realize actually it's just how it's like the yin and the yang. Like it seems so easy because he's just such raw talent, but then those athletes are also the ones who often are susceptible to those like pretty major injuries.
I think the higher the mileage, the easier it is to coach.
That's an interesting
there's
point.
less intricacies.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
at some point,
go
it's
run.
just mileage and infinity threshold.
I mean, honestly,
the less you do of that, the more the details matter.
do you think, but this is the thing, I personally, from what I've seen with the team, Helen is quite easy to coach, but I would
is this from you because you coaching her?
no, because she's coming into our team already Olympic medalist, world champ, and so talented, but also very wise.
Yeah, that's
very
kind of
knowing
a
her
different story,
training.
I guess, because she's a lot
She's
older than the rest of us.
Yeah, she's just so good at what she does, and there's a reason because of that. She's so consistent. She's just and she's a killer. She goes out there, races, and executes her plan perfectly. I think she's really easy to coach at this stage of her life or her career. When it comes to somebody like Joe Klecker, he's high mileage. I don't think Joe Klecker's easy to coach because Joe is the guy that 1%er. He always wants that extra 1%, whether it's sauna, whether it's some sort of Red Bull drink, whether it's gaming on the Switch 7 hours a day. He's always looking for that 1%, treatment, whatever. And that 1% can also be over 100% where he gets injured, he's overcooked, something happens in his lead up to like that happens. So I think it looks like that trajectory. I think George has a point, but also I feel like it might be the maturity of the athlete. Whereas
There's a lot of
you
factors.
forget how young Donovan Brazier is.
Yeah, he's very young.
He's very young.
Because he went pro so young.
So I think that's maybe a factor is the maturity of the athlete. The easier it is to coach them.
100%.
But at the end of the day, you would still do better than Pete Julian.
Yes.
Just to clear that up.
Yes. And Pete, if you're listening, which I know you are, it's no offense
Avid
taken.
listener.
I just really want to coach Donovan.
It's
Like
not
I
per- it's
really
not
want to
personal.
coach him. Huh?
It's not personal.
No. I think Pete's an amazing bloke and he's been amazing for the sport. I just really want to coach Donovan. So I'm doing whatever I can.
Fair enough. Santa, before we let you go, we got to ask you a couple of questions to get the fans excited. Well, I do want to ask like how you're feeling right now with training and 1 year on the team and all the adjustments because as George and I covered, I guess it would have been a few months ago now. You have a very interesting story to get to this point. Pretty unique story compared to the rest of us in terms of like how little you were running. I mean, when we were already been running for 10 years, you know, you were doing the 400-meter hurdles. How are you feeling at this point in the progression? And are you excited to venture into a new distance, which I kind of know the answer to that, but I don't know if we want to announce it, but someone might be running a 5K in the near future.
I didn't know this.
Tell us.
There's like maybe I'm going to do a 5K in BU, like the rest of you, but doesn't mean I'm going to choose to do a 5K. So we see what the time says, but I still wanted to express myself in the 1500 and just train. I mean, last year was just getting adapted to the new team, training and everything, and I would like to do it like a little bit more comfortable than just like, you know, getting adapted to the new stuff. So this year would be like to see what's my body is at and what I can improve from last year. So that would be my biggest goal for this year, like do great, but you know, keep it there
just
and see what's working. But like 5K, whatever.
Yeah. No, you're
no
still
big fan.
Still a 1500-meter runner.
I like to define myself as a 1500-meter runner.
No one's been given much choice about about the BU race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably too early for us to start talking about all that stuff, but yeah, a few of us in the team will be racing a 5K at BU.
Yeah,
it's what is in the plans. But yeah, I totally. You are getting forced to run the 5K. I know how you don't want to run it, and you are very attached to the 15.
You know?
It is scary.
So many laps.
It's very far. But no, you've been on a great trajectory so far. And yeah, I understand what you're saying. You just want to keep it going and continue to feel better and better.
And if I enjoy it, I mean, it's still time to change my mind.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, Cinta, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me for this special episode.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I guess now it's time for us to play Cinta's outro song, which is also the intro song for our next very special guest.
Can I listen it?
Yeah, you should listen a bit. Who could this be? Who could this be? This is not what I expected, but also exactly what I expected at the same time. Does it feel right?
It's amazing. Wir got also a treat.
Yeah.
Is this really Swiss?
Yeah. I just had love is going out to Switzerland. So.
Super Swiss.
Yeah.
Jonas, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
I think first off, we need to start off with a public podcast apology because we got a lot of crap for when we had him on last time. I don't know if you guys saw this because we ignored him half the episode. So, yeah.
No, it's all good. All good.
But we have promised that we are going to have a interview, like a specific Jonas, where that's what we're saying. We promise in the future we'll have the Jonas interview episode where we do your whole life story. If you would like to.
No, that sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, I'm already like a frequent part of your vlog, so
yeah. Yeah, Jonas has been in most of my, I guess, was it the last two?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And that's really what got the people going again. But you are also a listener. You do listen to the podcast as well.
For sure, yeah.
Do you have any fond memories or anything to comment on for this special episode?
I don't have a specific one, but just in general, it's sometimes complicated or difficult to explain, like, what you go through as a professional athlete, like, to explain to family or, like, even better, like, other people, like, what it is like. So I think it's really nice then having, like, 3 professional athletes on your level, talking about, like, what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Things like what Oli said, like, it's not only the ups, but also the downs. So, yeah, that's definitely something. But one other thing is as well, like, whenever Oli's making a super controversial statement.
That's your favorite.
And you see, like, Morgan and George are looking at him and...
Or he's like, let him do his thing.
How how we
No
get
comment.
out of this. So like,
Oh, no.
whenever this happens, it's
Thank
just
you,
like,
Ollie.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, because I think that is the difference. Like, there are certain intricacies which it would take someone who spends time around us outside the podcast, like Jonas, to understand. Like, I think some listeners wouldn't like know, but then Jonas would see us and just Jonas can like read between the lines of if we're just like normally on the podcast. So
Yeah.
it's got to be very enjoyable for you to have that extra layer of whatever it is to enjoy.
And the other thing what I said is also like coming down to remember the first time we met in Nice.
Ah,
Yeah, like
wait.
we raised.
Who?
Oh no,
That was
no,
Gateshead.
Yeah, Gateshead, exactly. Diamond League. We raised 5K against each other. So right after the finish line, I went over. I was a little fanboy. I went over to Morgan, and I told him that I'm like really enjoying his vlogs because he's like, there are so many vlogs out there, and if you're a professional athlete, you sometimes feel like, yeah, that's not like my life.
Yeah.
And then you see like Morgan doing his vlogs, and it's like exactly what you're going through. Then it's like, yeah, amazing stuff. I was a
Wow.
little fanboy there.
Well, I appreciated that a lot at the time, and I still do. And yeah, I'd love to continue to make them with all you guys because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It just takes a lot more work than the podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got some stuff in the works, hopefully. So we'll keep them coming. But, Jonas, we've gotten back into training recently, and you've been in flying form. How's everything going for you? Looking forward to this big Olympic year.
Yeah, can't complain. We just had our meeting with Dathan and Kelsey, and I think for me it's all about consistency and getting used to the new system. So I'm part of the OAC for 1.5 years now, and so I really get into the rhythm, get used to Dathan's training. So I really think it will pay off the next year. I mean, at least that's my hope.
Amen.
But yeah,
That's my hope as well.
I guess everyone's, but
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, but I think we slowly can see like where we are going.
Yeah. No, we got a lovely little squad coming together this year. It's a bit different, not having like I think typically like the backbone of the team in the opening years from a training standpoint was like Ollie and Joe. And we've talked about this before, how like those were the guys who were always like doing the most, you know, and like the rest of us were like seeing how long we could keep up for in a lot of the stuff.
I feel George can come in too a little bit for the workouts. I think overall mileage, I think Joe and I were pretty much always there, but I think George was always jumping in for those fartlegs, waxing us in the fartlegs and thresholds.
It's true.
But George was obviously trying to build up his perfect balance of staying injury free as well as building up to that level of what Joe and I have been able to get to. So now I feel like we're so fortunate because everybody's had that kind of build up. And the coolest thing to see is, for me personally, and I'm sure for you as well, Jonas, was that sub 4 mile that we did indoors with the whole team. That was pretty amazing. Obviously, we needed one more guy there, and then it would have been the most perfect. It would have been like, that's something for me, like that's a Chariots of Fire moment. That's like something that's just the most beautiful thing. If we had everybody in the team on a sub 4 mile for a rep on a workout, which is what we did. Unfortunately, Morgan was still coming back from injury, but like having that kind of environment around you, particularly such a positive environment, because I remember we finished that. We were all nervous beforehand, and we finished that, and we were just going, did we just do that? It was just such a great feeling. And
Jonas, wasn't that your PR in the mile?
Yeah, I think so.
Why not?
Especially with the with the
conversion.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
indoor
Yeah.
too, it was an indoor track, so it's conversion again.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
But-
but I mean, for you guys, it felt like that's business as usual, and I was so hyped up.
I was hyped too.
Everyone was hyped for that. That was special.
That was an
special
awesome
moment.
moment.
How are we going to top that this winter?
I don't think we can.
Surely we can't do that workout again.
That's dangerous. That would be so dangerous to try and attempt that because, I mean, because that was so. What was the initial goal for that?
I think 4 flat.
Was it
I
always
was
to break 4?
408.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it was
I
to
think
break
it
4.
started with, I think in my
402?
final search, it was 412 or so. For
It
Joe
was
and
like
me.
412,
or 408,
then
like
408.
something fast. But like whenever I open up like the final search again, it was like faster,
changed.
faster.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, because now the bar has just been set so high, you're
Yeah.
just kind of setting yourself up for not failure, but like it's like, all right, now we have to go faster. But
Yeah.
that was so special. But the point of me saying that initially about you and Joe was that things are a little bit different this year because Jonas and George are crushing it right now, and it's just like a different dynamic.
You guys are the rocks.
Joe, like Ollie coming back from his injury. I mean, he's still been at the front for a few things.
What are you doing up here? Get back! That better not be a 520.
Yeah,
it took us a long time to catch Ollie yesterday.
Yeah,
you guys passed me pretty easily though afterwards. I mean, it is you two are the rocks. And
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see, to be honest, because in workouts and particularly for you two, I feel you guys bring a very calm presence to training, and it's some therapeutic for me to see you guys just execute a workout like that at the start of the year. It just shows that things are progressing well, and particularly for this year, you just look like you're a completely different athlete. So you're just at another level.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting.
I think there's some natural lineup before a workout where people stand at the back of the line that don't want to lead the start. Mario and Yaris especially. They always
they've talked themselves out of it before the workout has started.
And maybe it's like a seniority thing. Like those two go to the back, at least for the beginning, especially in the longer ones. They're like, I want no part of this.
Yeah.
And then
Yared will very vocally saying, I want no part of this today. I want no part of this fartlek.
And then I feel like Morgan and Ollie know that they both can get carried away. I don't know if that. So they.
Yeah.
And then they leave it to the. I don't know.
I would say there's a lot of maturity with the way that we're training this year, and it's really good. That's when you realize how, in some ways, young the team is. I mean, it's always kind of young because like one thing that was different about this team maybe compared to others is there on the men's side there wasn't, when the team began, there wasn't like an older figure. Like the older figure was Ritz, who's the coach, but normally there's an older mentor type figure, I'd say, who's a runner who kind of sets things, but that didn't exist on this team. No. So there has been a bit of a process of figuring stuff out. And I think last year on some of the like early season workouts were new to the people on the team. Like I don't think you guys had done like those exact progression runs and stuff before, or at least in the way that we did it. And then so a lot of us were like, we turned up to training like we didn't really know what we're doing today, and then we just all went way too hard. And so this year we've done we've had a very similar build up, doing similar workouts, but with a lot more experience, and we're doing them a lot more smart. So that has been nice.
Yeah.
But we have Jonas and George leading the charge right now, so it's been a very, very good environment at workouts, and I think I just hope it stays.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which I think it will. I think it'll bode very well for the coming seasons. But yeah, is there anything else you would like to touch on for this special episode, Jonas?
No, not really. Like, congratulations, guys.
It's
crazy to see. Like,
I would like something from Jonas.
Oh no,
personally,
what's coming now?
So obviously, everyone that is listening knows I have a terrible diet. Shocking diet. Jonas is a great diet. And you're also a vegan. I was wondering if you could ever do a cookbook for athletes on vegan food, because I feel like that's something
request.
It's a request. It's like a demand. It's a demand. I want one, because I think the cool thing about food in general is that you don't really know. Like I've coming into professional running, and we had Josh on as well. We've been talking about having a private chef and stuff. Like food's a pretty valuable and important part of our lives. And I'm not that educated on food. I feel like I got better, particularly going to college and being fortunate enough to have Morgan around. But the vegan options in food as well, I have no idea. But I would think
you're asking a very broad question.
Love to have a vegan or vegetarian meal once a week, but I have no idea what to cook. So I am requesting from Jonas maybe some tips, some help, or some cookbook. Maybe
the vegan cookbook for elite athletes.
Yeah.
Honest question back. Would you actually cook something out of like...
If it was easily accessible to get the the produce, if it was easily accessible, and if it was possible to do in under like 2 hours, then yes.
2 hours.
That's
How do you think Jonas
like,
lives?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I love to spend time in the kitchen, but
and foraging for you. Hard to get
Going out
food.
in the woods.
Hard to get produce.
But in general, that's a pretty loose request because I would love to learn. But I talked to my mum. My mum's a vegetarian, and a lot of the dishes that she makes, they're not suitable for an athlete because you need a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of protein, particularly with how hard we train. And you're someone like me who's training extremely hard but able to fuel yourself. So that's something that I would love to see from you if that's possible. If we could get a Jonas.
It should just be like an afternoon activity. You just put together an entire cookbook for Ollie.
Yeah, if you could just make that happen.
Shouldn't take you long at all.
Or you can just come over and we'll cook together. We'll do that.
Why don't we just make it? Would it be more digestible if it was videos? We'll
Oh,
request him
videos,
to make
right?
cooking with Jonas.
Cooking with Jonas.
Is that my
Cooking with Jonas? I love it.
Yeah.
I would probably watch that.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal to make right now? Like a staple meal. It's like this is a really fun, delicious meal to make.
Probably tofu bowl.
Ooh.
With like a peanut butter sauce on top with sriracha.
Ooh.
That sounds yum.
I'm getting hungry.
Yes.
That sounds makeable.
Getting closer to dinner time.
Yeah. It is.
That's a super easy one as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you could do that?
It's going to be my New Year's resolution. We haven't obviously got to that episode yet, but my New Year's resolution is to have a vegetarian or vegan meal once a week.
Good luck.
Sounds good.
Does like oatmeal count?
No, it has to be dinner.
Oh, dinner.
It's a dinner meal. Yeah.
Oatmeal or porridge?
Porridge.
We call it porridge.
So
but
porridge for dinner. Then.
Porridge for dinner.
Yeah.
Would porridge dinner count?
Let's not complicate things. Well,
all right. Thank you very
Jonas,
much
thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jonas.
We appreciate you. Can't wait for the Jonas interview.
Yeah, and the cookbook.
Just a couple of small requests, if you will.
Just very small requests.
Doable. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Wow. What a slew of amazing guests. We are very lucky to have such...
How are we going to go to next week? How are we going to do... We can't do next week. This is like the best thing ever.
What,
It's
you
the
think
best-
we
I
should
thought
just
this was our
end
last
the
episode.
podcast? Go out with a bang?
Go out with a bang. This could be it.
It's an option.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
It is all downhill from here.
I don't know if this is going to work, but I think there is one person that we do need to try and call. Well, guys, when we got to the end of filming, we realized just how long this episode is going to be. So we're splitting it off into 2 parts. This is the end of part 1. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And all we'll say about part 2 is that it just gets better. So I hope you guys are excited for it. It will come out shortly, and we'll see you guys again soon.